Hey, how y'all doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you the news. Let me just make sure the settings in the background are what they are supposed to be. So again, much love, respect, and appreciation to those who are currently here at this moment in time to happen to view this live stream. I know that, excuse me, YouTube won't possibly put out the correct notifications. So it is what it is at the moment in time. So if you just so happen to see it live, much love. If you don't, you know, it is what it is. But we're going to start off with this story that I found pretty interesting. So the title was that Marlon Wayans released a statement and is not pleased that the mother of his child, right, Brittany Moreland, stated that 18K a month is not enough for her and her 1-year-old baby, so she's taking him to court. Moreland states that she is unemployed and does not plan on working. So let's see if we can go directly to a little bit of the article and see what's happening. Marlon Wayans' ex, Brittany Moreland, has filed for full custody of their 15-month-old daughter. In the court documents obtained by People, Moreland, age 35, filed a petition to determine a paternal relationship with Wayans, age 51, in the state of California. The actor also has 2 children, Kia and Sean, with ex Angela Zachary, with whom he was in a relationship with from 1992 to 2013. He welcomed daughter Axel and signed a voluntary declaration of parentage on December 13th of 2022, just one day after the child's birth. So this is going into some whole other territory at this moment in time. It's not looking too good. According to the filings, Moreland is seeking full legal and physical custody of Axel, but is asking that the actor receive visitation rights. On Thursday, Wayans spoke with the Shade Room, responding to Moreland's legal filings. Quote, all love, all God. The baby isn't a secret. The mama has been posted, but I chose to keep the baby's private life private. Ain't nobody's business. Social media is toxic and dangerous, and I'd like to keep her peace. However, the actor stated that he didn't like being named as a visitor to his daughter. Quote, do you pay all that money per month and be called a visitor? Do the math. This is delusional. I will let the lawyers and God do what they do. I'll be creating art from a broken heart. I got nothing but love. Even when it's bad, it's good. It's God. Moreland is also petitioning for reasonable expenses of pregnancy and birth, as well as fees and costs of litigation to be covered by Mr. Wayans. In addition to the paternity documents, Moreland, who was listed as unemployed graduate student in California, submitted an income and expense declaration. She states that part of her monthly expenses goes towards providing clothes clothes for the minor child. According to documentation filed by the 34-year-old, Axel spends, quote, 95% of their time with me and 5% of their time with the other parent. Moreland is requesting $2,000 per month from Mr. Wayans for child care so that she can continue working. Wayans also addressed Moreland's child support request in the paternity suit in conversation. Quote, it's the classic case of good, loving, responsible father shelling out $18K per month for a 1-year-old, and an entitled woman decides she wants more. My mama and them would have lost their minds for 2K. So this is again, it's pretty sad. You got this woman here, and she is 34 years old, and she stated that she is unemployed. How is that even possible? How are you unemployed graduate student? Like, I'm a little bit confused on how does that work. And you're basically stating that you don't plan to work. How again, I'm just trying to figure out, somebody has to let me know, how hard is it to raise a child? I'm just trying to figure out, because my mom did it. Of course, family was there. But my mom was still a mother. Still took me to school to and from, was with me on homework, science fair projects, trips, put me through, private school and all this other type of stuff. So I'm a little bit, I'm just trying to figure out, why would a woman need 18K in order to take care of, how old is the child again? A 15-month-old child. How we, like, what, I need the calculations on that, because all of that money, 18K, that's not going to that child. That is not going to, that child is not going through so many changes that they just need clothes brand new every single, come on now. Come on now. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is 1,000% crazy. Like, if they were married, this pretty much would have been alimony or whatnot. That's what that would have been. That's what the 18K would have been, because it would have been specifically for no child, unless a child is special needs, because of, all the things that a child may need depending on, where they are with their medical. Yeah, you're going to need a lot of money for that child. This is not that. So again, like I said, and like other men have stated, this lets you know how rigged the system is. This is why it is realistically not even beneficial for guys to even go out there and have kids. Like, this is what it's looking like. Even when being married is still a risk, because at any moment in time, a woman can up and just pop up and be like, "Yep, divorce," and then you're just left there, broke, destitute, farm, and everything is gone. You know, like I said, it's just highway robbery. It is just highway robbery how this happens. And like I said before, the few are going to mess it up for the rest, because stories like this and instances like this are just going to mess it up for other women out there that want to legitimately actually get married. They really want a partner. They really want that relationship. They're looking for that long time love, for decades, where people have been married for 40, 50, 60 years. With the generations of now, you're not going to see people make it that far. People barely even, it's hard for them to even make it 10 years. So, trying to get to that 20, 30, 40, 50, yeah, you might need the Dragon Balls on that one. And you might even need, the gods to even help with that wish as well. Cause I'm not sure what to tell people at this moment in time. Cause like I said, you got a lot of women out there that's going to mess it up for a lot of guys. And again, this is why a lot of guys don't even want to get married. Because get married or not, this is the situation. If you end up having a child with somebody that you actually genuinely love the person, you're in a relationship, you're, pretty much facilitating and taking care of everything, you're still going to be left at the end of the day holding the bag and still getting things taken away from you. And then the craziest part about the lawsuit is that they're just calling him a visitor as if he's not a father. Like, how does that even work? Like, see how the words, like, you've never in an instance heard of a lawsuit taking place in the reverse, where a guy is just calling a woman something else. How does that, was he a visitor in that relationship? Was he a visitor when he was facilitating your bills and taking care of all of these other situations? But now when it's dealing with the child, you want to try to paint yourself as this independent single mother that's doing every single thing, and you just need a little bit of help. And then people want to walk around and sit up there and state that, oh yeah, black men aren't fathers, black men aren't there, and all black men want to sit up there and do is pay child support. This dude is like, nah, it's like, yo, I'm literally paying for everything. And for everything that I'm doing as a father, as the parent that I'm supposed to be doing, I get called a visitor. Like I said, it's not even beneficial to even be a father, because you still get disrespected no matter what you actually do, no matter how you're taking care of somebody. Like I said, case in point, look at Father's Day, look at Mother's Day. Tell me which one is more popular. Tell me which one people actually care more about. I ain't even talking about the people shelling out money. I'm just simply saying, when you look at a whole world view, a whole scheme of this, tell me which one is more important. Which one gets advertised more? Which one you see more people out on? That lets you know, in a sense, where people see fathers and how people see them, right? So the next story that we're going to roll directly into, we're going to cut directly over to this video, and I find this pretty interesting. And for those of you who may have Apples, you may want to, pay very close attention to this, right? They said Garland announced a lawsuit against Apple on alleged smartphone monopoly power. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced that the Department of Justice, joined by 15 state and District of Columbia, would be filing a lawsuit against Apple for their alleged monopoly power. So let's just take a listen to that.
Earlier today, the Department of Justice, joined by 15 states and the District of Columbia, sued Apple in the U.S. District Court for the District of New Jersey for violating Section
Well. Seems like we're having a technical difficulty. Hold on here. Let me see. I might have to actually pull the. Let me just do this a different way here. It's amazing. Whenever I want to actually showcase something, somehow, some way, something transpires. Let me see if I can just get the other one here. Let me just do it this way.
Earlier today, the Department of Justice, joined by 15 states and the District of Columbia, sued Apple in the U.S. District Court for the District of New Jersey for violating Section.
You have to be kidding me. Huh. That's a little bit weird. Well. Let me see what we can do here. I'm gonna have to get this together for y'all real quick. Nothing much, Pink. Trying to get this this one video dealing with the Apple lawsuit here. So I'm gonna actually have to go to the website because for whatever reason, the moment in time that it plays. All right, there we go. So all right. So we're going to do this by way of screen share. All right, so we're just going to do it this way. And I'll just try to have it play loud, hopefully.
Today, the Department of Justice, joined by 15 states and the District of Columbia,
I'll just have the closed caption on.
Court for the District of New Jersey for violating Section 2 of the Sherman Antitrust Act. Over the last 2 decades, Apple has become one of the most valuable public companies in the world. Today, its net income exceeds the individual gross domestic product of more than 100 countries. That is in large part due to the success of the iPhone, Apple's signature smartphone product. For over a decade, iPhone sales have made up a majority of Apple's annual revenue. Today, Apple's share of the U.S. performance smartphone market exceeds 70%, and its share of the entire U.S. smartphone market exceeds 65%. Apple charges as much as nearly $1,600 for an iPhone. But as our complaint alleges, Apple has maintained monopoly power in the smartphone market not simply by staying ahead of the competition on the merits, but by violating federal antitrust law. Consumers should not have to pay higher prices because companies break the law. We allege that Apple has employed a strategy that relies on exclusionary, anti-competitive conduct that hurts both consumers and developers. For consumers, that has meant fewer choices, higher prices and fees, lower quality smartphones, apps, and accessories, and less innovation from Apple and its competitors. For developers, that has meant being forced to play by rules that insulate Apple from competition. And as outlined in our complaint, we allege that Apple has consolidated its monopoly power, not by making its own products better, but by making other products worse. Apple carries out its exclusionary anti-competitive conduct in two principal ways. First, Apple imposes contractual restrictions and fees that limit the features and functionality that developers can offer iPhone users. Second, Apple selectively restricts access to the points of connection between third-party apps and the iPhone's operating system, degrading the functionality of non-Apple apps and accessories. As a result, for most of the past 15 years, Apple has collected a tax in the form of a 30% commission on the price of any app downloaded from the App Store, as well as on in-app purchases. Apple is able to command these fees from companies of all sizes. Apple has also suppressed the emergence of programs like cloud streaming apps, including gaming apps, as well as super apps that could reduce user dependence on Apple's own operating system and expensive hardware. And as any iPhone user who has ever seen a green text message or received a tiny, grainy video can attest, Apple's anti-competitive conduct also includes making it more difficult for iPhone users to message with users of non-Apple products. It does this by diminishing the functionality of its own messaging app and by diminishing the functionality of third-party messaging apps. By doing so, Apple knowingly and deliberately degrades quality, privacy, and security for its users. For example, if an iPhone user messages a non-iPhone user in Apple Messages, the text appears not only as a green bubble, but incorporates limited functionality. The conversation is not encrypted, videos are pixelated and grainy, and users cannot edit messages or see typing indicators. As a result, iPhone users perceive rival smartphones as being lower quality because the experience of messaging friends and family who do not own iPhones is worse, even though Apple is the one responsible for breaking cross-platform messaging.
So I want people to understand. This has nothing to do, realistically. The government is like, hey, Apple, we don't like how you're actually treating the people. You got them paying $1,600 for a phone. Who the hell tells anybody out here to spend $1,600 of your own money on a damn phone when the next one is going to sit up there and come out in a few months? Who told you to do that? In the government, I want people to understand. Point me to a time and place where the government has actually cared about the people. I'm going to say this again. I've been saying this for quite some time over the years. Point me to some time where the government genuinely actually cared about the people. All of the trillions, the billions, and the trillions of dollars that they're giving and placing all over the planet. Why is it that you've not seen the government just try to uplift the people? Spend billions of trillions of dollars of taxpayer money. Why haven't they tried to sit up there and use that money at home to basically build up the people, to invest in the people? Again, you're not going to point me to different points in times. Oh yeah, the American government 100% actually cared about the people, and this is how, and this is when, and this is what they did, and yep. Nah. Look at the food. The same government who's up here on this podium telling you that, hey, we're going to sit up there and sue Apple for the people, yeah, are the same ones who have a monopoly on the food. Correct? They're the same ones that allow corporations in America to poison the food, to put all types of chemicals and all these other types of things. I've gone over this too many times on some of my platforms. I've literally given you listings of foods that are in the United States that are banned all over the world. And they specifically tell you why these foods are banned. And it's due to the chemicals that are in these foods and the adverse effects that these chemicals can have on the human body and the organs and developing people, such as your children, they tell you this. Certain things are linked to cancers, Alzheimer's, dementia, a lot of different things, even problems dealing with the blood. But yet the government is not trying to you know, go directly after those food corporations. So why, oh why would the government decide, yeah, this is the crusade that we're on. We're gonna fight Apple for the people. Yeah. It all has to do with control. It all has to do with control, right? So let me just see something real quick. Let's just go back and let me see where. All right, where are iPhones made? Let's just see something. It said the latest iPhones are mostly made in China, but rely on components from all over the world. Apple has also shifted the assembly of older iPhone models to other Asian countries, namely India and Vietnam. Is the iPhone made in the USA? No, the iPhone is assembled in China, Vietnam, and India. So I want people to understand what this is. This is a power type of play. They want Apple to open up their ecosystem to allow these other apps that are more than likely run by the government have some type of spyware so that they can implant them and put them on your phones so that they can spy directly on you. See how that works? Notice how the guy was sitting on the podium. He was like, "Yeah, and they don't allow competing companies or other whatever to create apps for the iPhone that would allow them to communicate and whatnot with other rival phone companies." If I have my own ecosystem and I created that and it works very well, why would I need or want anybody else in that ecosystem? I don't need you to be there. Again, this is a power play. This is the exact same thing that they just recently did, right? They were let me look up where those TikTok bans at. Let me see that. So let's just look at TikTok, man. Where are we at? Where are we at? They said when you look it up, it says, is TikTok getting banned from the United States? It said prior efforts to widely restrict TikTok in the US have not been successful. The most recent case stems from Montana passing an outright ban last year. A federal judge temporarily blocked the law from taking effect in January, saying that it was unconstitutional. They said, is the TikTok ban bill passed? They said that the House on Wednesday passed a bill that will lead to a nationwide ban of the popular video app TikTok if its China based owner, let me repeat that again, China based owner doesn't sell its stake. As lawmakers acted on concerns that the company's current ownership structure is a national security threat. Now, I told y'all before, if everything was a threat, then a lot of components that are in devices that we use every single day, a lot of the stuff is made in China. I'm pretty sure that the computer that I have right now was more than likely manufactured there or whatnot. I'm pretty sure. Just like the screens that we have, the televisions that we have. So it's a little bit weird that they're just going after, TikTok and an iPhone, given the fact that they're both made in China. Why not go after everybody? Why not do that? Like nobody is sitting down to really ask the question, why is it that they're only specifically attacking these two things and they're not attacking everything that America themselves have allowed to be outsourced? This is why I keep repeating myself, going back to the early 2000s, 2000 and 2001, watching Fox 2 News with Hugh Perkins. And on that news report, they were sitting up there stating how about 5% of the jobs in America were outsourced. Nobody even blinked. Nobody even gasped for air or anything like that. But now you see What happens when people don't want to pay attention? It continues. History repeats. It gets deeper. It gets darker. It gets worse. So, at a moment in time, we used to produce a lot of stuff in the United States. What do we produce now? What do we produce now? Because it wasn't too long ago that I remember stocking, and I used to sit up there and see boxes that would say made in China. How is that? So we can't even produce boxes. We can't produce apple juice and all these other things. Like you gotta, fuse apples from like what Korea, China, Venezuela, and all these other like crazy stuff. Like I said, the next time y'all buy some apple juice for y'all kids, go look on a lot of these bottles and figure out where they're made or where these apples or where everything is coming from. Because, like I said, I remember stocking and I remember seeing different areas around the world in one bottle of apple juice. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. So, like I said, if they realistically want to attack something and go after something, they will go after everything, but they don't because they don't care. So, for those out there that think that the government is doing this whole TikTok ban, this whole iPhone lawsuit for you, you're stupid. This is the same government who gave you stimulus checks, and then they were like, all right, that's enough. You guys are bothering us. This is going to be the last bit of money we give you. They literally told you that. And everybody around the United States was completely fine and dandy. And then on top of that, the other thing I want people to also note, whenever you happen to see any of these officials, try to see what phones they use. Look at what phones they use. Everybody pretty much uses the same phone. Especially in business, they tend to use the same phone. And if they know that certain phones have a little bit more privacy than others, they're going to tend to use that a lot more. So again, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff going on. And as I keep telling people, stuff is happening directly in front of your face. And it's like people are not paying attention. People are not even understanding. Like I said, it's something out here. It is something out here. And then I saw a news story. The House passes a 1.2 trillion spending bill, sending it to the Senate hours before the shutdown. So I want people to know that the House passed. Hold on, let me just click on this real quick. I don't think nothing should, wildly just recklessly show up because we're on Microsoft Start, so we're good. So as you see here, it says the House passed a 1.2 trillion spending bill. The House voted 286 to 134 on Friday to pass a sweeping 1.2 trillion government-funded bill, sending it to the Senate just hours before the deadline to prevent a shutdown. All 100 senators will need to greenlight a vote to pass the bill before the midnight deadline. If it doesn't happen, the government would be forced into a partial shutdown on Saturday morning. President Joe Biden has called on Congress to pass it quickly and said he'll sign the bill. Quote, "This hasn't been a perfect process, but we should never let the perfect, whoa, this hasn't been a perfect process, but we should never let the perfect be the enemy of the good." This is a good result for the American people. They said the bill, released early Thursday, funds the Department of Homeland Security, State Labor, Defense, Health and Human Services, and various other agencies. Together with the $459 billion bill passed earlier this month, I didn't even know anything about that. It fully funds the federal government to the tune of 1.659 trillion through September, and months of stopgap bills and negotiations. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Let me just so to any black people out there, remember, everybody's telling black people to go out there and vote. Black people, I want you to realize this. The government can find or make money anytime that they want to sit up there and make it. If the government actually wanted to divvy out reparations, they could have easily done it. And the United States would have gotten that money back because black people would have been like, okay, we got our money. Now we're going to sit up there and be spending it in America. It wasn't like the money was going to sit up there and leave. Like this is how stupid this is. Like the government could have literally gave black people reparations and they would have literally gotten that money right back. And then some. Right? Because we would have been putting it back into the economy because black people are going to spend where it is that they are from, right? But for whatever reason, the think tanks out there are like, no, 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 we can't afford to do this. We got too much debt. We can't do this. We can't do that. You got so many black market, off the books type of things that they build in the United States that are billions of dollars. You got underground bunkers. You got underground military bases. But you got the wise think tank, aka basic American people, like, oh no, black people don't need reparations. So why does the government need off the book money? Why does the government need to facilitate, off the book, type of buildings or what have you throughout the United States that the American people doesn't don't even know about, nor are they informed about. It doesn't make any sense. If we want to talk about excessive spending, if we want to talk about the money that we don't got, if we want to talk about the debt, let's start there. Let's talk about all of the ridiculous spending that the government does, both in front and behind the American people's back. But nobody wants to do that, though. Everybody's like, oh well, the government has their reasons for not telling us because if we were privy to a lot of information, we really wouldn't know what to do with it. Just say that that's you. Just say that you're too stupid and that your ignorance runs so deep that if you got some information that your mind would just blow up, that you would just explode, like you would just lose your mind. Just say that that's you. Like I said before, if at any point in time the government really wanted to give a form of reparations or whatnot, they could easily do it. They've been passing out trillions of dollars for quite some time. They've been passing out hundreds of billions of dollars for quite some time. But yet, they'll tell you one thing and do another directly in front of your face. So shout out to everybody out there. Voting season is taking place. A lot of things are taking place. Make sure to pay attention not to the presidency so much, but pay attention to everything else. Pay attention to the people that are actually moving the show, who are the captains of the boat, because it ain't the president. Pay attention to all those seats directly in the Senate. Everybody in Congress and whatnot or whatever. Pay very close attention to all of those moving parts in the background. Like I say, you can pay attention to everything, but there are certain areas when it deals with government that you need to pay very, very, very close attention to. The presidency is really not that thing because at the end of the day, the electoral colleges pick and choose who is going to be the president. In some instances, you could possibly say that whoever the president is going to be has already happened. They just are going to put on the show to let you, think that you actually have some type of power that can lean this way or that way. Right? Like I said, the government is very great at the things that they do. It should be studied. Too bad a lot of people don't want to look that far. But here we are. Here we are. So we're going to go over to a nifty, video. Let me just cross this one out right there. So now I want people to pay very close attention to this video because it's not going to make any type of sense the first time. So I'm going to play it a second time so we can all catch it.
Where are you from?
Yeah. What? I'm from South Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm African, but honestly, I like Americanized African men. He's just a little too African. Not in any insulting way, honestly.
I'm not,
That's what's up.
Not at all.
So what made you say he's too African?
I think the strong facial features, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And which part of Africa are you from?
I'm half Kenyan, half Ghanaian, so I'm like
Okay.
East.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
So I want you to understand the conversation. This is how bad Western society has infected Africa, where you can actually see a video of an African woman, born and raised. She said her mother is Ghanaian. Hold on, let me go back there. Let me go back to what she said. She said 2 strong facial features. She said that she is half Kenyan and half Ghanaian. She literally tried to play the card saying that she's mixed. That's what she literally did in front of everybody's face. She was like, "Oh, don't take what I said, offensively, but you're too African for me." Her parents are from what? Like this is how stupid this is getting. This is how stupid this is getting. You're too African for me. Both of her parents are from Africa. But this one African dude who is literally from one place, he's too African. And the host asked, what's too African about him? The facial features. She was like, "Oh, I want an African guy that's more Americanized." Huh? What? How are you from an African country, but you want a African dude that basically grew up here, or he's part African, part American? Like this is so weird. Like I said, I don't like, this generation is cooked. I don't know what is happening out here, but Lord have mercy, this is a show. Never in my life have I heard of such stupidity. Never in my life. Never in my life. Never in my life. To my knowledge, I think she's talking about Ghana. To my knowledge. So, because I know what you're saying down there, Timothy. I know what you're talking about. But no, from what I'm understanding, that woman is talking about Ghana. She is clear cut talking about Ghana. And I'm like, what? Like, what are we doing out here? I'm like, he is too African. Wow, I've never heard this before. I've never heard this. That's like hearing a woman in America say, like, "I like black men, but I like, black men that are more European. I like black European." That's like a woman sitting up there looking at a black man, be like, "Where are you from?" "I'm from Detroit." "Ah, you're too American for me." Yo, this is stupid. This is this is insane. And this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like the insanity has rose to such levels that you don't see people even calling this stuff out. Like imagine if a guy said this. Imagine if an African guy said this to an African woman. Do you understand how this would blow up on social media? Do you understand how this would blow up on social media? It's crazy. It is so crazy. Like I said, a lot of these shows or whatever podcasts, it's going to tear up the um the mental of a lot of people. It's going to make a lot of people pretty simple. I'm not sure if people have actually realized it, how the government has in a sense used social media to lessen the ability for people to actually watch long form content. Before TikTok was as large, people could usually sit through, 10-minute videos. Now everybody's like, nah, the video is too long. People are so used to flipping on a video, if it doesn't catch them within like 5 seconds or whatnot, that they can't even sit there for sometimes 15-second videos. They'll be like, up, the first 5 seconds, up, it's too boring. Flip, flip, flip. And I'm like, wow, the government is doing a doozy. The government is doing a doozy. Dreamless said, I think she was more referring to him being dark skinned. She's dark herself. That's the craziest part. That's the craziest part. She's dark herself. She is from what they would call the dark continent. She is from Africa. Her parents are African. Like, that's the craziest. It's the most insane thing to, in a sense, think that you got Africans out here calling somebody else too dark. Y'all all come from the same place. What are we talking about? The sun be beaming on y'all all the same. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is like, yo, this is so. Let me just repeat this one more time. I just got to go through this insanity one more time.
May I ask where you're from?
Yeah. What? I'm from South Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm African, but honestly, I like Americanized African men. He's just a little too African. Not in any insulting way, honestly.
I'm not, you know.
Surprise. That's what's up.
Not at all.
So what made you say he's too African?
I think the strong facial features, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And which part of Africa are you from?
I'm half Kenyan, half Ghanaian, so I'm like
Okay.
East.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
So she's East and West African. She literally played the card in front of everybody's face. Like, well, you know, I'm not really that African because I'm mixed. Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. This is, like I said, this stuff goes to a whole nother level sometimes. This goes to a whole nother level. Like I said, every single day I go on social media, when I think that a low has been hit, something else comes and it just causes a black hole, and it's endless. It is crazy. Crazy. But now we're going to go to this next video, because something that I told you guys before, and it had to do with the pandemic, how it is that, you know, they were going to use barbershops and, you know, pastors, preachers, and rap artists in order to get to the black community, right? In order to reach them and talk to them, right? And to really get them there, right? To really get a grip on it. They were going to use your favorite artists and whatever local things that you have in order to get in contact with you. So let's take a look at this next clip right here.
How many accolades and nominations and everything you've got going on, at least what you have planned for the summer coming ahead with a concert and a tour. The idea of them inviting you there in particular, did they talk to you about what they wanted politically? Did they want your endorsement? Did they want you to help people get out the vote?
Hey, you know, that ain't got nothing to do with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden. But, you know, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying, talk politics, but I love the president, you know what I'm saying? I love everybody, and at the end of the day got to end.
So they stated that rapper Glorilla, aka Gloria, on meeting Biden Harris at the White House. Let me just repeat that again. I gotta show this very powerful scene here.
Of an artist you are, how many accolades and nominations and everything you've got going on, at least what you have planned for the summer coming ahead with a concert and a tour. The idea of them inviting you there in particular, did they talk to you about what they wanted politically? Did they want your endorsement? Did they want you to help people get out the vote?
Hey, you know, that ain't got nothing to do with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden. But, you know, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying, talk politics, but I love the president, you know what I'm saying? I love everybody, and at the end of the day got to end.
I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't even, but like I said, they're going to sit up there and they're going to take your favorite artist. They're going to take the most popular people in the black community, the ones that black people listen to the most, and they're going to put them on a higher platform in order to get those votes. This is what that looks like. This is what that looks like. Like I told people before during the pandemic, and I showed countless videos. Like I said, it gets to the point where it feel like you're just repeating yourself because you know that people don't want to listen, even when you happen to show proof of how it is that black people are being used and how it is that they're trying to tell black people, we know that you are such idiots. We're going to basically put this in front of you, and we know that you're going to sit up there and come back and vote like you did before. What did Biden sit up there and tell black people? You ain't black if you don't vote for me. Woo! Yo, that's the hardest. Like if Biden was a rapper, that'd be a nice bar. I would have to give that a 10 out of 10. You ain't black if you don't vote for me. Oh, that's some 1800s type of talk. That's some 1800s type of talk. That's like some you ain't a good boy if you don't worship me. Oh, that's that Biden giving bars out there. He putting some stuff down. Black people ain't even reading it. It's like it's crazy. Black people reading. Oh boy. Lord have mercy. Let's just go to the next video. Let's just go to this one here.
Predator behavior. Y'all see how my daughter's sitting on my lap? Like, she's sitting off to the side. You feel me? Predators, a predator, like, know the difference. You feel me? This is no area for a young female. You feel me? Especially if you're not her dad. Like, that's even more so for you not even much put a child on your lap. You feel me? Y'all pay attention to these type of signs, like.
So people might not have caught this whole thing, right? So the caption is this is for all the young mothers and fathers. Y'all pay close attention to people who are doing this with your children and the boys too, right? And the father's basically giving an example. He gave a full-fledged example of the correct way and what the wrong way basically looks like. So I looked at that and you saw two women down there and they were like, yo, yeah, but you didn't need to put her there to prove your point. You could have just explained it with your words. Another one basically said, this predators be in plain sight like this too. He could have used the dial. This was too uncomfortable to watch. Now they switched it and tried to make it seem like the father is the real problem. And this is what I've stated before, how jacked social media is and how easy it is for women to just go out there and try to portray or to try to change the narrative of whatever the topic is in order to better suit or fit whatever narrative that they have. And this goes back into the whole narrative of, black men being a danger, black men being this and that when it deals with the children. And like they're really trying to paint this as if the father is the problem. And that's the craziest thing to me. They're really trying to paint this as if the father is the problem. And like I said before, hey, people are just going to, I guess, have to find out. The moment in time that you decide that you want to remove the protection away from the household, away from the child, all and any enemies can now come in and do whatever it is that they want. There's no leader there. There is no defender. There's no protector. There's nothing there. So like I said before, I don't know. People just going to have to figure something out. Realistically, people are going to, have to figure something out. Right. Timothy said men can't do ish, but die, and we need permission for that. Yeah, I mean, even in some instances, I've watched videos, and I think I even showed y'all audio where women were sitting up there talking about, black men can't even die right, and I'm like, what does that even mean? I'm like, I've never, like, what is the correct way to not be here? I'm just trying to, in a sense, figure that out because I was highly lost when I heard that. I think I still got that audio somewhere around here. Like I said, it's a lot of crazy stuff that has been said. It's the whole thing of, damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. It's not that long ago that I brought you guys a story about a father in Australia who was just spending time with his son. Like, he was sitting up there just, playing with his son, at the restaurant, gave him like a hug, a kiss on the forehead. And two women who were watching him were talking about they felt like uneasy and they just wanted him directly outed because he was just doing too much. Like it's to the point now where fathers can't even be fathers. Fathers can't even show any type of affection around their kids because magically some woman somewhere is going to say that this is looking suspicious. He needs to be watched. Like I said, it's crazy out here. It's 1,000% crazy out here, and people don't even understand it, and people choose not to, want to see it. So the next thing I want to go directly into, let's see here, is this here, right? So let me just swap this directly over. You might be able to see it. I know some of you guys might be on TV, so you might be able to, actually catch it. So this is pretty much a list that was given, right? Let me actually scroll back. So to the left side, it says the salary you need to live comfortably in 15 major cities in the United States. And this is back from April 4th of 2023, right? Let me make sure to kind of pause that because I saw it flashing, right? So number one, they said in the San Francisco metro area, you need $84,026. San Diego, basically we're going to round it up to $80K. Boston metro area, $78,752. New York, $78,524. Seattle, $77,634. Los Angeles, $76,710. Washington, D.C., $76,194. Miami area, I thought that was going to be more expensive, $67,056. Atlanta metro area, $66,580. Phoenix metro area, $65,670. Chicago metro area, $65,500. Dallas, $64,742. Houston area, $62,260. Philadelphia, $61,678. And at number 15, St. Louis with $57,446. So this is what you would need in order to live comfortably in those 15 major areas. That's crazy. And even with that, you're still struggling. Even with all of those numbers that I listed, even with like 84K, you still got people out here struggling, right? So then you go over to the right side, right? And the right side, the salary a single person needs to live comfortably in 25 major United States cities. And this was written as of March 20th, 24. So this is this year, right? And he said to live comfortably, a single person in 99 of the largest United States metro areas, you'll need a median income of $93,933, according to a recent Smart Asset analysis. They said comfortable is defined as the income needed to cover a 50-30-20 budget, which assumes 50% of your monthly income can pay for necessities like housing and utility costs. 30% can cover discretionary spending, and 20% can be set aside for savings and investments. Smart assets. I can't even get the word straight. Smart assets extrapolated the income needed for a 50-30-20 budget based on the cost of necessities using data from MIT Living Wage Calculator. Here's the income a single person needs to live comfortably in the 25 United States cities with the largest or the highest cost of living. New York, 138K? Yo, wait. Hold on, wait. You need 100. Wait, let me go back and read this title again. The salary a single person needs to live comfortably in 25 major cities. That is a jump. So you mean to tell me that in New York, in order to be comfortable, you really need 138K? What? San Jose, California, 136K. Irvine, California, 126K. Santa Ana, how are people even surviving in California? What is going on? Santa Ana, California, 126K. Boston, 124K. San Diego, California up there again. San Diego, 122. What is that? Chula Vista, California, again, 122K. San Francisco, 119. Seattle, 119. Oakland, California, again, 118. Arlington, Virginia, 117K. Newark, New Jersey, 116K. New Jersey City, New Jersey, 116K. Long Beach, California, why am I not surprised? 114K. Anaheim, California, 114K. Honolulu, 111K. Los Angeles, Jesus Christ, 110K. Aurora, Colorado, 110K. Portland, Oregon, 110K. Riverside, yo, I just need people to leave California. I need common sense people to just leave California. Like, let me see how many times California. Let me just finish up. Sacramento, wait, I'm sorry. Where we at? Riverside, California, 109K. Atlanta, 107K. Sacramento, California, 104K. Raleigh, North Carolina, 102K. Gilbert, Arizona, 102K. Glendale, Arizona, 102K. Let me see how many times did we have California one? San Jose, Irvine, Santa Ana. We got San Diego. We got Chula Vista, San Francisco, Oakland, Long Beach, Anaheim, Los Angeles, 11, 12. California's up there like 12 times. How is anybody even living in California? How? Like you up there, like, bro, you're California is a nice portion of the list. How is anybody able to afford to live in California? Like, this makes no sense. Like, what jobs are in California other than Silicon Valley? What jobs are in California? Like, this is not even making sense to me right now. Like, this is crazy. Holy shit. Wow. Pete says, I live in New York, and that sounds accurate. Jesus Christ. That is tough. Tim said, the question is, are the jobs in or close to the area that offered that money? I mean, that's a very good point too, but it's like, damn. Like, when I originally looked at the first list to the left, I was like, okay, that seems moderate. You know, most people can make that with a high school or a college education. I'm like, okay, it's below like the 100, K mark. So, all right, no problem. And then when you start moving to this whole side on the right, it's like, damn. But like I said before, my mom tells me still to this day, there's going to come a point in time in my lifetime that the government is going to get rid of the middle class. This is what you're looking at. If this is the income just in these areas, just imagine what it's looked like across the United States. Because remember, it wasn't that long ago, like last year, that there was an article or news reports coming out that, rent or whatnot is increased to such high amounts that people are paying access to 2 to 3K normally, which is crazy. That is insane. It's like that's some money that people actually just see within a month. Depending on the jobs that they happen to work. And it's like I see how people are struggling. I see how things are, in a sense off because people are not making enough per month to literally take care of all of their necessities, for that whole month. Because remember, you got car note insurance, you got medical insurance, you might have whatever debt or credit card debt that you have, you might have student loans. Like it's so many, and then not even adding in groceries and the other bills that a person may have. Like this right here is ridiculous. This right here is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Right? And then to further add on to this, we're going to look at this video and hear what some of the women out here have to state about how ridiculous it is to live.
Anyone else can relate to this, but I just got off my 9 to 5 job and I want to go home and I want to go to bed. Like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around how things are going right now because it's pretty hopeless for this generation, for us that are trying to start our lives and get a place. It's like rent is absolutely insane. You can't save any money to be able to buy a place. They don't want us to own anything. And they literally want to destroy your dreams of starting a life. Now you have a job that you hate and you still can't afford life and you're still fucking miserable and you can't pay any of your bills and you just feel lied to because you thought that if you just went to college and got a degree, you'd be able to afford a house and things that make you happy. I had to apply to a second serving job to work on the weekends because my full-time job that I work from Monday to Friday, 40 hours a week does not pay the bills enough. So now I have to get a second job serving. And I'm so upset because I thought the whole point of working the one full-time 9 to 5, 40 hours a week was supposed to fulfill myself enough to where I can pay bills and live comfortably. And now I can't do that anymore. So hard. And I feel like I'm not doing enough. I don't need much to be happy. I just want to be able to live comfortable. I don't need to be rich. But I would like a backyard someday.
The system is just not made for us, for someone like me. How come you can't make it a point where everyone can thrive, right? How come you can't make it where everyone feels safe, has food on the table for them and a roof over their head? Why do we need to go by this fucked up system that honestly just doesn't work for most of us?
I don't want to feel like I'm wasting away. I don't want to feel like I'm part of the matrix. But maybe I am.
So we were able to hear that, right? We heard the women's complaints about, hey, 9 to 5. Some of them may have, college, and even with that, they still have to sit up there and, work 2 jobs in order to just make ends meet. So this would also go into the other aspect of why you have a lot of women out here going to alternative avenues in order to make more money. And like I said, I get it. I see it. I understand it. But this is something that, men have talked about for a very long time. Before you've had women on TikTok complaining, men have complained about, the prices of living, groceries, insurance, and all of these things going up, right? And when men complained about it, it was just falling on deaf ears. Nobody cared about it, right? Nobody cared about it. And during certain time frames, women didn't really have to worry about or care about it because they weren't the ones having to foot the bill, right? So you weren't going to hear, in a sense, a lot of women actually complaining or giving their concerns and so on and so on and so on, right? Those are not going to be the conversations that were going to be had. But now we're living in a society where, women are able to go out there and work the same hours, if not more, do the exact same jobs, get the exact same education, and so on and so on and so on. Now women are realizing and seeing what all of the things that men from prior years and present have been talking about and arguing about for the longest time. Now they're fully able to see and witness this. But now within the examples and the complaints, the valid complaints that they do have, you see some of them breaking down. You see them crying. You see them stressed out. You see them in a worrisome state. right? And in some instances, you see some of them in a fearful state. Like the one girl stated, she was crying in her car. She was like, one day I would like to have a backyard, meaning that she would actually like to have a house. But she feels that it is impossible for her to actually do that with the current situation of how the economy is and how it is that, she's just not able to pay her bills no matter how many jobs she works. And the main thing that a lot of people will tell these people is like, well, if you get out there and go back and further your education, or if you, go back out there and find a better job. And so, like, those will be the answers that a lot of people are going to sit up there and give. And again, I'm just here to, tell a lot of people that, hey, it's going to get worse. It is going to get worse. And the main people who are also going to feel it are the ones that are always like, oh, well, you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You need to do this. You need to do that. Those are going to be some of the main ones who are going to suffer the most, and they're going to feel it the worst, because that was always their answer. And I am here for it. I am here directly for it. Like I said, all of those people who laughed at other people's, suffering and plight, and they tell them to basically just go, oh yeah, just do better, pull yourself up by your boot, all that other type of stuff. Like I said, you're gonna start to feel that burn real soon, and it's gonna be so bad, it's gonna be so worse, and you're not even gonna know how to deal with it. Like I said, it's gonna look pretty crazy directly out here. Pretty crazy. Tiffy said the American dream is bees. It's bees? It's only for people who are born rich. Right. Timothy said, as part of the Black community, I say to these individuals, welcome to the party. Tippy said, thanks to the dumb feminists fighting for equality. Like I said, I'm all for equality. And this is the one thing. Now, this is the one thing I'm going to sit up there and tell you, Tippy. Give it about, they might not really have the stats directly on it now because they choose not to put stats out there like this when it deals with women. Only when it deals with the narrative of men are bad for women. That's the only time that they'll put out stats like this. But over the years, I say about close to 20, not 2025, maybe about somewhere close to 2030. Start paying attention to the news when they're talking about women and the usage of alcohol going up, the usage of women, alcohol and drugs and worse. Just pay attention to those stats because it's going to start happening. And the reason that I can say that it's going to start happening is because it first started happening with men. You still got men to this day that are like, yo, man, life ain't, worth living. I got to sit up there and struggle. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's a very stressful thing actually being a guy. A lot of women won't understand that because, again, women are not men and men are not women. So the greatest example is to look at the rates of men not existing anymore, the rates of men checking out, the rates of men, opting for alcohol and drugs or other types of things. Because again, what's going to happen is monkey see, monkey do. Whatever men already started doing, women are soon enough going to follow suit, and it's going to be even far worse. Because remember, women have expendable income. Because not only are women able to get money from a job and also a side job, women also get money from guys. So again, you're going to start seeing a lot of these rates go up. And you're going to see a lot of people trying to make excuses directly for it. And I'm like, there is no excuse. The same way that people always told men need to be men. Pull yourself up. Stop crying and stop whining about everything. I look at this video and I see some of these women crying, and I'm like, I don't know what you're crying for. You wanted to be here. You wanted to do the exact same thing that men do. You thought that you were only going to get the good parts of it. I told people I'm for the equality, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you got men that's been doing this since the world began and stressing out and doing all of these other things, guess what? Women are going to be doing the exact same thing. And also, I want to list that the promiscuity rates are going to increase as well. Just like how, men who can't seemingly, get a woman, they happen to go out to other areas to get a woman. Promiscuity amongst women is going to rise as well, because remember, a lot of women out here don't believe in marriage. They don't even believe in having a consistent relationship. So along with that promiscuity, so let me just add it up for you, because I'm showing you how it works with guys, right? Guys are stressed out, drugging up, alcoholing it up, and they're, taking themselves out. Women are crying. They're, highly emotional right now. They're fearful. They don't really see what the future is, in a sense, looking like. So how are they going to sit up there and cope with that? They're going to do the exact same thing that guys have done. They're going to use alcohol. They're going to use drugs. They're going to use sex. And in some instances, they're going to take care of everything themselves and not exist. But like I said before, and many men before me have tried to say, this is not the life that women want. Women envisioned something that was not true. Other women before you have led you down a road that now you cannot turn back from. There is only one way to sit up there and move through this cave, and it's not backwards. So it's looking crazy. It's looking crazy out here. Yo, Young, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on? Tippy said, not all women said you're talking about the pretty privileged one. No, when feminism, go back and look at the original feminists. They weren't looking like the women of today. let's just keep it 100%. The feminists of yesteryear were not looking like the women today. So the pretty thing is not even a thing. The women back then, it was like looking kind of tough. Looking kind of tough. Could have been working construction. it was looking real tough. But like I said, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm all for equality. We're all going to be in the exact same boat. Men are going to be rowing on one side, women are going to be rowing on the other side. Like I said, equality. It's a balance. Men got the left, women got the right. Like I said, I'm all for it. I am all for it. Sometimes even if you didn't pick this road, sometimes you got to go down it because the others picked it for you. It's like what I told Tibby said, that's back then. We're talking about today. The pretty girls have it a lot easier to get money. No, they don't. Tippy, and I'm going to explain it to you like this. I'm not sure if you're on Twitter. I've seen a variety of women on Twitter. I've literally seen everyday average women on Twitter. And the moment in time that they show off their bodies, they're getting attention. You don't have to sit up there and be like a 10, 8, 9, whatever you want to sit up there and call perfect or pretty. You don't have to sit up there and be that to get it easy. All you have to do is basically cater to the things that men like, and you're automatically getting attention, because there will always be a guy out there. Always. And I've repeated this for the longest time possible. There will always be a guy out there that is going to be there for a woman. But it's not the same when it deals with men. And notice how jacked that is. There are less men than women, but women can always get attention from men. If a woman really wanted to actually get, let's say, a boyfriend, or she just wanted a fling or whatever it was, any woman out here could literally get that. I've been on Twitter for years, and I'm looking at some of the women who are just showing themselves off, and I'm like, huh. Like I said, I'm not sitting up there trying to write nothing negative underneath their tweets or whatever it is. I just sit there in amazement. I'm like, okay, so this is what's happening. This is what it is, at this moment in time. And like I said, there's always going to be a guy directly out there. That's how the world works. You said not all women. No, Tippy, I'm trying to tell you, you have to actually like be on Twitter and these other sites in order to see the women that I'm talking about. These are women that you would not even really, from a guy standpoint, these are women that you realistically wouldn't even look at. But because these women are catering to the sexual desires because these women are catering to the sexual desires or enticement of men, they're able to get attention. They're on Twitch. That's another website tip. If you happen to go on Twitch, you can see some of these women directly up there. Like they are, this is why I told y'all before, like it's crazy to know the fact that there are actual female gamers who play video games and they love playing video games. They can actually dissect the video game and do all of these other things. You got some women out here that are actually better than guys at some of these games, right? But they don't get the time or the light of day. They don't get that popularity. Why? Because they're not showing off their body. They're not showing off a form. They're not showing off cleavage. They're not wearing a mini skirt. They're not acting, ditzy and dimlet or whatever it is that you want to sit up there and call it. They're getting all of this attention, not because they play video games, but because they're in an area to masquerade as something, right? Portraying something while trying to market and sell something else. And because they're playing into that narrative of whatever that situation is, if it's gaming or whatever it is, guys are going to flock to it. And you're going to have a lot of guys giving money. I've seen dudes give hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to some of these girls. And then for the girls to turn around and get on social media and then clown the guys, telling them that, yo, $5 is not enough. If you're working a 9 to 5 and yada, 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 you can afford to give me a lot more. Like, that's how bad it is out here, where a woman who's already getting money from men can come back, talk shit in order to get more money from men. That's how bad it is. But what I'm trying to literally tell you is that there are guys out here that will suit that need that a woman wants. Like, if a woman realistically wanted to actually get married, a woman could. A woman could. There's a guy out there that is lonely or whatever it is that wants to get married. There's a guy out there that wants to be loved. There's a guy out there that just wants to be in the presence of a woman. It doesn't matter in what type of matter it even is. Even if the woman is being disrespectful to him, the dude is still like, yo, I still want to be here. I'm still next to a woman. I'm happy with being here. She might not like me, but I'm still here, right? All of that type of stuff. So again, a woman does not have to be pretty in order to get that attention. A woman has to just solely feed into a certain type of narrative or a thing that a guy is looking for. This is why OnlyFans is so big the way it is, because guys are looking for a certain type of thing. You said exactly. That's why I said not all girls like me don't get attention. All I'm saying is that some girls don't get attention. Tippy, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that I've noticed about a lot of women. And this is from a guy that's been around a lot of women. I've noticed when you have women who, in a sense, know that they are attractive or have the belief, they can see the attention that they get because they're paying attention to it. When you have women that don't have the confidence, that don't believe that they're attractive, they're not paying attention to anything because their face is directly to the ground. They're like, hey, because trust me, let me put it to you like this. At a moment in time in my life when I, in a sense, cared, right, about the whole thing of like, girls finding me attractive and da 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 da, my whole main thing was that I was oblivious because I wasn't used to, any type of attention. My head was, in a sense, down. Even though I was looking up, my attention in my head was still down, right? Which means I'm oblivious. I'm not paying attention to it because I don't believe that I fit these specific criteria to be deemed attractive by women, right? And then the moment in time that for me, I just did not care, all of a sudden, I started noticing that every now and again, I would sit up there and see some women basically looking or whatnot or whatever, right? So what I'm sitting up there telling you is that when you're at a point in time that, you decide that you feel a certain type of way about yourself, you're not going to actually, see, what it is that you're actually looking for. Trust me, I was there when I was younger. Trust me, I was there. So, talking directly from, expertise. Like I said, it just gets to a point where you, in a sense, just gotta stop caring. But also when it specifically comes to women, it comes to a point where women just deliberately ignore stuff. And I've seen that because I've been with girls that I know and just like sitting up there just like walking, and I sit up there and just it's point out. And I'm like, yo, this dude, was just like looking at you. Like when I'm talking about like the dude was like looking, I'm like, I felt the energy of the dude basically looking just directly at the person. And I'm like, how the hell are women oblivious to all of this attention? I'm like, how? Like, and this is why I sit up there and say that irregardless of however it is that you feel, some guy out here finds you attractive in some type of way. I can't sit up there and say that for guys because we literally have to build stuff up. We have to either build our bodies up, we got to build ourselves up mentally. We got to be able to show something. We got to literally have something. It's not going to be nothing internal. Like, regardless of whatever a lot of women say, it's like, yo, I really like the internal workings of a guy. No, women like the outside aspects or the things that guys can physically do or meet the needs to and yada, yada, yada. Like, that's how that stuff like works for guys. A woman can literally be both internal. She can either be internal, external, or both. It doesn't work like that for guys. Take it from a guy who is called lame, geek, gay, all this other type of shit, right? But again, if I had the things right for dealing with those women passing by, whatever, that basically deem me as that or saw me as that, if I had like the money, power, all this other type of shit, oh, it'd be a whole different story, and I know it would. Because the way that people happen to portray themselves when they're with their friends or online is a lot different than how a lot of these women happen to talk when it's just a one-on-one type of situation. It's so amazing how this shit works. It's crazy. But like I said, it's just crazy. It's crazy. You said, I guess when I walk, I don't pay attention to ish. Yeah, you probably don't. Because Timmy, let me tell you, you know how many women that I've literally heard on Xbox? Nobody knows what these women look like, right? And this is dealing with the years from like, let's say like 360 all the way to now. Women continuously every single day online get hit on. If a woman enters an Xbox Live party or she's on a video game and guys can automatically know that that's a woman, she is getting hit on in a variety of ways. Like a dude is going to be trying to like really help her like in a game. It's like, oh, you're a girl. So I got like a little 54 character or whatnot or whatever. These are the hours that I just so happen to play. I know, this and that about the game. I can help you level up alternative characters. I can help you with character builds. I can even, play the game for you while you're working. Like, there's been so many different instances that I understand as a gamer, as a guy, so many instances of when guys do a variety of different things to show that they're interested in a girl in order to hit on them without, in a sense, being so completely obvious. Because the moment in time, like the video I showed y'all before, if a guy decides that he wants to be obvious and he wants to hit on a girl, in America, they're going to say that it gives them the ick, that they're going to say that that's being disrespectful. They're going to say that that's hypersexualizing, overly sexualizing, that we're trying to deem or see them as property and yada, 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 and it's unwarranted attention, right? But if you're a guy from somewhere else, you can do all the same things that American men are doing here over in another country, and it's fine and dandy. It's considered a man being a man. It's crazy. that's why I showed y'all that I listed that video on the channel, because it's crazy how everything over here doesn't make sense, but over in another country it's completely fine and dandy. Just like how one of the videos I saw directly online when it dealt with Ghana, they were showing like a club scene and they were playing American rap music. And I'm like, huh? They were playing Swag and Surf. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, even though y'all ain't near no water or nothing like that, there's not even a pool in the scene, so I'm not sure how you swagging and surfing, but it's all right. But I'm like, word? Swagging and surfing? In Africa? And I'm seeing like a lot of like African faces, and I'm like, didn't people sit up there and say that black people didn't have no type of culture? But I'm like, how did our music just like transport itself directly to a whole nother continent? I'm like, we don't got no culture. I'm like, what, what happened? Like I said, stuff is, it's crazy. It's crazy. You said the same with women. You said, well, you're probably right. I remember the video of two white girls who only like black guys. They were so confident saying that they always get catcalled by black guys. I know the video that you're talking about. The only thing that I can, in a sense, say about that is God bless their souls. God bless them. God bless them. God bless them. I don't know the guys that are catcalling them. That's very interesting. I got a couple of theories as to why they would potentially receive catcalls, or they're getting catcalls. I have some very great theories that are pretty accurate. And it all has to do with sexual needs being met. It doesn't have anything to do with marriage. It don't have nothing to do with relationships. There is some other things that are more than likely happening and going on that they're not listing in those videos. And again, I would need to see who those guys are. I have my theories on how those guys look and who those guys are, and I can pretty much be sure I can throw a dart and I can hit right. No. I believe them too. I do believe, like I said, it don't matter what a woman looks like. There's a guy out here for her. There is never going to be a point in time where realistically a woman can't find love. Firstly, you got women out here with like 7 kids having relationships. How a woman with 7 kids got time for a relationship, I cannot sit up there and tell you, because you got women out here making it seem like one child is it's hard to deal with. So 7 kids, that should be impossible. But you know what happens? You said, but still I've seen a lot of pics of in shape black dudes with those women. Yeah. And I'm telling you why. It's not really about the, okay, I'll put it to you like this. You got a very rare percentage that's like, yeah, this is the person that I'm actually going to marry. A very rare percentage. A lot of the women that's sitting up there talking openly and they're like, yeah, I just like this and I like that, and they have to be, looking like this black guy. And 9 times out of 10, it's because sexual needs are being met. 9 times out of 10. That 1%, yeah, it's rare. That 1% is the ones that's like, yeah, this is the person that I'm going to sit up there. They're actually looking for somebody, that's on an even footing, right? They're like, all right, well, I see where you are at this moment in time, and then I just so happen to see my looks, and it works out. It balances out. But for the rest of them, it's like, yeah, it's a sexual needs type of thing. That's what it is. And for those guys, it's a lot easier for them to try to go that route, because a lot of those women are going to be like, well, I'm not, nobody else is pretty much here. This is where I'm getting all the attention from, so let me just give directly into this attention. Right. And you have a lot of women that'll be like, this is what love actually is. Like, they will substitute the love for that sexual attention. right? They'll be like, okay, I'm not getting the love that I need, but I am getting this attention. So I'm just going to call this the actual love that I desire. Right. So this is when you see a lot of those videos where those women are like, yeah, I really love, these types of black guys and yada, 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 and all this other type of stuff and whatnot or whatever. That's what that is. Those women were not really getting the attention or the love that they desired from the guys in their community. They were just, in a sense, 1000% thrown away. So then they ended up catering and going after dudes that they felt would actually give them some type of attention or quote unquote love. And that's where they went. Because notice, you never hear these women talking about other groups of men. 9 times out of 10, they're always talking about black guys. Even though people will get online and sit up there and say that, black men can't meet any type of needs, black men don't care, black men don't love, all this other type of stuff, yada, yada, yada. Black men don't make nobody feel comfortable. For the most part, as you can see some of these women get online and be comfortable to speak like that, and then you'll see the same women walking down the street with a guy, you're not going to tell me that that guy is not making that person more comfortable, even if their relationship may be business or just for like sexual needs. He made her more comfortable to the fact that she now looks at herself as being an attractive woman when originally she did not. But it's like, that's just things that normally black men have always done. It doesn't matter what woman that a black man is with. A black man is always going to make a woman feel desirable in some type of, form, fashion, or way. The problem is, if you are a black guy that's deemed unattractive, that attention doesn't matter. Women are not, black women in the black community are not trying to sit up there and have you in that area. You have to be of suitable looks in order to be able to give that type of affection or love or attention. Right? On the reverse end, it's not the same rules for a woman. This is why you can watch, certain shows online, reality TV, where you got, women who are like, 4, 5, 6, 700 pounds and they're married. So nobody's going to sit up there and tell me that women are lonely, that women can't do this. And women, yes, they can. You got women out here with 7 kids having consistent dates or relations with guys. You got women at 6, 7, 800 pounds that are married with children. It ain't nothing impossible. Nothing is impossible. That's the one thing that I've learned through looking at all of this stuff. All of the adversity, as some would say, that some of these women have faced, they're able to still find something, able to get some type of attention. 22 Roden, what is up? What is up? What is up? Tippy said, not all of them. All of them ain't out there trying. That's the other problem too. That's the other problem too, Tippy. A woman can, it don't matter where a woman is. Like, Tippy, they got tribes. I kid you not. You can look it up. Anybody can look it up. They got a tribe or so in Africa where the bigger a woman is, the more attractive she is. They got a tribe in Africa when it deals with men. The larger the stomach of a man, the more attractive he is. These are things that they literally have around the world. Even in other places, like, big girls are attractive. Like I said, it's like some, Western and other societal type of issues where people are like, yo, I only find this one thing attractive. Guys find a variety of different women attractive. Like, if you talk to a lot of guys out here, I'm not talking about the ones that'll be like, I only drink. I said drink. I only date, pencils and all this other type of stuff. No, if you talk to a general type of dude that's just out there, you can speak to a lot of dudes and find out that they've dated women of a variety of different like heights and sizes. Now, on the reverse, you're not going to really see that from a lot of women. There was a rare instance where I heard of a woman that considered herself a chubby chaser, right? Which means that she likes guys who are larger. She said it was just something about like those guys who, are weighing, like 300, plus pounds. She just really finds them attractive, right? And normally within guys are like, yo, you know, we find big girls attractive. Like that's, you know, guys are sitting up there just pretty much. What I'm saying is, you more times than not, you have guys who are actually open to either being in love or having a relationship or a friendship or whatnot with a woman, no matter what size or height she is. When it deals with the reverse, women are not that open with that. You're not going to see a lot of women caked up or married to a dude that's like 600 pounds and have like several kids by that guy. That's just no. That's just not a thing that's going to you know, sit up there and happen. You said Tabria Majors. I don't even wait. Let me see who that is. You said Tabria Majors. That's a name I've never heard of before. Let me type that in. Tabria Majors. Didn't I see her before? Yeah, she's pretty. Yeah. Like I said, like, and now unless the dude is like some type of like ultra like health nut or on some whole other type of stuff, the average dude would sit up there and go on a date. They would go on a date. They would talk to her. They would try to get her number if possible. Let me see. She looks tall. Let me see. Let me see. Height. I feel like she's tall. Okay, yeah. Because I was sitting up there looking at the yeah, she's about 5'10", about 218. Yeah. I knew she was tall. I could sit up there and tell by her picture. I'm like, she's looking a bit tall. Because usually when women are shorter, you can tell. The proportion on certain things is going to be looking a little bit different. It's going to be looking a little bit different. But yeah, like somebody like her, you will have guys, I promise you, she's gotten hit on by a variety of guys, also including guys who are quote unquote in shape and work out. I promise you. Promise you she's gotten hit on. Promise you, I can tell you that without I can bet money. Bet money that she's got hit on. Mo said the Virginia is highly sought after. They can make it sick and put it in a can. It will fly off the shelves in a minute. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Technically, they already did that. technically, they did, you know, do that. Ronan said a happy home is the goal. People got to figure it out. Yep, that's true. That is very, very true. Very, 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 very true. Where was the other one, right? So this is just a different video. I just wanted to put this up there just to, do something different. So this is what this woman, because this is why you see like the chart directly on the side, even though I got it set to like September 14th of 2099. That's when I think that should be the next full solar eclipse is going to happen. But irregardless, I just want to look at this video and just try to figure some stuff out here, just on a whim.
Talking about the eclipse, but they're not talking about this. The sun and the moon are not aligned on April 8th. They are in Pisces. Right now, if you go to your Skyview app and you push forward to April 8th, plug it in, it will show you that the sun and the moon are in Pisces. They are not aligned. They are sitting beside each other, but they are not aligned. How is that possible? Because the sun and the moon have been out of place since back in September 2023. I've been doing these videos telling you that the sun is not where it should be. People are telling me it's the calendar. The calendar's off. Don't worry about it. It's where the sun is in the sky that's different. It's not where it should be. This eclipse is showing you that I am telling you the truth. Because if we see an eclipse on April 8th, how is that possible? If the sun and the moon are in Pisces, it can't be an Aries eclipse, right? If the sun is in Pisces, and if the sun and the moon are not aligned, they have to be aligned in order for you to see an eclipse, correct? So I don't have to be a fucking astrophysicist to understand this, and neither do you. I'm trying to get this out to as many people as I can. Please share this because, I mean, this is just a no-brainer. These heavenly bodies are changing. They are not where they should be. And they damn sure will not show you an eclipse in the sky if they are not aligned.
Right. So she was saying that, stuff is not going to be aligned, correctly or as it should be. I think I gotta expand this just a little bit. So I decided to go to a sky chart, right? So I went to the skyalive.com, right? Planetarium, right? And you can go directly to this website. This is live, so you can see my mouse moving and all of that great stuff, right? So when I went directly to Google, I simply asked the last solar eclipse, right? So they said one that we will have all the way in the future, 2099. Shout out to any comic book fans directly out there. You got one that's going to happen September 14th of 2099, right? And this is pretty much a full-on, in a sense, solar eclipse, right? Because before that day, the sun and the moon are nowhere even close. Then after the day, you can obviously see that they're going to be separated. So it's only on the 14th, right? So then after that, they said August 12th of 2045, right? So let's put this August 12th of 2045. So now we got to go back in time. How far can I do this? Okay, that's a lot easier. I was actually clicking this before. Go a little bit. All right. So then we got this one, right? This is August 12th of 2045 when we're going to have the next, eclipse in a sense take place, right? So then now it happens upon April, right? It says April 14th. I'm sorry. April 8th of 2024, right? So let's move this to April. Let's put this down to the 8th. And then let's go to 20. Ooh, that's actually looking pretty close in what's the name? It's looking pretty close there. All right, so we're gonna go to 2024, duck this down right there. So this is what from the sky view it says that it should look like. It's barely I don't even want to really call that like an eclipse. I mean, even though it is, you can consider it that, but it's for me when I think about like an eclipse, like a full eclipse, I'm thinking about the sun and moon being strictly like it's there, right? Everything is just aligned right there. This one is just like, all right, I'm going to just sit up there and shade just a little bit of this. But again, they said depending on where you are in the world, like the appearance of it is going to look different, right? Because of the rotation of the earth and the globe and the angles and and all the other type of stuff, right? So then we can go back to August 21st of 2017, right? August, and then we're going to put the 21st directly up here. And then we're going to go back to 2017. That was the previous one that we had. Then we can go back to May 10th of 1994. So we got to take this way back. Whoops. Going back in time. I got to go back to May and 10th. Right there. May 10th, 1994. And we had another one. I'm not sure. Can a Skyview potentially show that one because we did have another one, right? Let me see how far back this can go. Okay, maybe they can actually do it. Trying to figure out why does it look like that in the middle right there. It's a little bit weird. Anyways, we're gonna go back to 1811, if even possible. Oh, I guess we can actually do that. Okay. We're gonna go back skipped it. Gonna go back to 1811. Right? And that was in September 17th. Right? So they said that the annular solar eclipse of 1811, September 17th, is visible from the geographic region shown on the map to the right. Well, y'all can't see that because I'm just reading it from the site. And they said the instance of the greatest eclipse takes place on 1811, September 17th at 1843:45 TD. This is a 1.3 day after the moon reaches apogee. During the eclipse, the sun is in constellation Virgo, right? So the thing that people are also sitting up there saying, like pretty much after this, some time after, you had some things transpire and take place, right? So when you look up the eclipse of 1811, you might also see a story that might be, linked to it, or people might try to link it or what have you, where they said you got some time after the earthquake of December 16th, 1811. So again, this is some time after the eclipse. So they said that the main shock that occurred at 2:15 a.m. on December 16th, 1811, was a result of a slippage along the Cottonwood Grove Fault in northeast Arkansas. It was followed by at least 3 large aftershocks with magnitudes that ranged from 6.0 to 7.0 over the course of the next 48 hours, right? And then if you also look that up during 1811 on December, they said about 2 a.m. on December 16th of 1811, the ground began to shake uncontrollably. Large trees swayed, then snapped throughout Missouri, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee, Illinois, and other states. The other thing that I also learned is that between December 16th of 1811 and late April of 1812, a catastrophic series of earthquakes shook the Mississippi Valley. Towns were destroyed, an 18-mile-long lake was created, and even the Mississippi River temporarily ran backwards. They said, when you further go into it, they said, why did the Mississippi River flow backwards? On February 7th, 1812, the most violent of a series of earthquakes near Missouri caused a so-called fulvo tsunami in the Mississippi River, actually making the river run backwards for several hours. I didn't even know that was even a thing that can even take place. I did not know up until, like I said, the internet. I learned something new. Some people that were putting this information out there, they was like, yeah, back in the day, I remember, when this, when we were, in school, or not in school, but they remember when they were, taught, about that, right? I didn't learn anything about that, and I took science. And at no point in time did they ever sit up there and tell me, like, yeah, we had at one point in time the Mississippi River running backwards because of whatever was going on, right? And then one of the people actually posted an old clip. I want to say it was maybe from like 1979, right? And this is what the newspaper basically stated, right? The date is it's somewhere. I'm not even sure if y'all can see my mouse moving. I would have to move that back. Can y'all see my mouse on there? No, y'all can't. So where is it? So right below where it says Sunday Journal, that small little line, I want to say it should say about like 1970 something, right? And in that paper, they basically say millions will see the next showing of the eclipse 2024. And they stated back then that blackout total in some areas. So again, this is something that people knew about for quite some time. If people were around during the 70s and they were able to see a newspaper or what have you, they more than likely saw that in the newspaper during that time, basically telling like, yeah, the next eclipse that is going to show is in 2024, and it's potentially this is what it's going to look like. So they in a sense give you, I guess, pictures of what people should be able to see, and what the, I guess you want to say, the totality of it will be. The other interesting thing dealing with the solar eclipse that I'm not sure that a lot of people happen to know about, if you happen to look it up, they have something called, let me see if I can find it. Apple iPhones, TikTok ban. They got something called, there we go, the Devil's Comet, right? And this is coming from Space and Science portion of CNN. They said the Devil's Comet will be visible in sight in the night sky now and won't swing by Earth again for decades. They said that an unusual horn comet, notable for a series of recent outbursts, will be visible in the night sky for the remainder of March, and astronomers expect the so-called Devil's Comet to make a rare appearance during the total solar eclipse on April 8th. Exactly why the dynamic comet takes on a shape that has drawn comparisons to the Millennium Falcon spacecraft from Star Wars films when explosively active is still an enigma to scientists. But the celestial object only completes one orbit around the sun about every 71 years, similar to Halley's Comet, which makes the odds of orbiting it for close study a once in a lifetime opportunity. They also stated that those in the Northern Hemisphere, the last 10 days of March will offer the best view, according to the manager of Center for Near Earth Object Studies and the navigation engineer at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory Center in Pasadena, California. Right? They said that the comet will brighten a bit as it gets closer to the sun, and it should be visible to the naked eye low in the west about an hour after sunset. You what was it? You should go to a location away from city lights and with an unobstructed view of the western horizon. It would be advisable to use a pair of binoculars since the comet may be hard to locate without them, right? So like I said, I'm just putting all of this stuff, I guess you could say, directly out there, just in case people don't know about certain things. So that's why I wanted to go over the different eclipses that we've had. In a sense, basically showcase that on. Let me get that off. I wanted to showcase that on the Skyview map. Again, if anybody wants to, this is completely live. So if anybody wants to happen to look at the Skyview map, you can, just so happen to do that. Oops, I'm not actually pressing the button for the Skyview map. Yeah, so again, you can see my mouse clearly moving as I'm talking. This is the Skyview map. If you want to go directly to the website, you can do that. You can go to theskylive.com/planetarium, and you can type in, whenever these eclipses have taken place, and different things of the nature. And again, they're not, people don't know that there's a comet that is going to happen around the same time as the eclipse is taking place as well. Also, not even trying to move into a conspiracy area. You also got something that was built to, in a sense, sacrifice or slaughter, red hair cattle. So, if people don't know anything about, red hair cattle, how rare they actually are, and what the potential sacrifice is about. You can just so happen to research those things as well. The other thing that I know that was taking place, let me see, military. Let's see, during the eclipse. Can't even type correctly. Let me see. Where are the going by the journal? Let me see what they got here. They said National Guard to assist during the total eclipse. They said members of the Oklahoma National Guard have been called to assist during next month's total solar eclipse. Right, McCurtain County Emergency Management requests the assistance, of more than 100,000 visitors are expected for the celestial event. McCurtain County Emergency Management requests our support because they expect up to 100,000 additional people visiting their communities to watch the eclipse. And that was stated by a lieutenant. He also stated that this influx of visitors has the potential to overtax local resources, and thanks to the training and the experience of guardsmen, have worked alongside the local agencies all across Oklahoma. Right. So let me just see somebody, because I remember somebody was sitting up there stating schools being out. Right. Sorry if y'all can hear the mic moving. Well, schools be closed on April 8th. They said this when you look it up. When you type in, will schools be closed on April 8th? And I did this by Google. So again, anybody can do it. They said hundreds of schools are set to close over safety fears during a solar eclipse next month, which will plunge several states into darkness. The moon will appear to cover the entire surface of the sun during the early afternoon of Monday, April 8th. Huh. Now let me see. They said are Texas schools closed for the eclipse on 2024? They said the 2024 total solar eclipse is only visible in certain parts of the world, including in the Austin area. To celebrate this rare phenomenon, some Central Texas school districts are giving students and the staff the day off. They said, next one, they said, why are schools closing for the solar eclipse 2024? They said, as North America gears up for the total solar eclipse next month, multiple schools in the United States will remain closed due to safety concerns, as many states will plunge into darkness on April 8th. It's just, for me, I'm not sure if it's weird to a lot of other people. I just find it, what is up? We got King Black in the building. What's up? What's up? What's up? We got Hack in the building too. It's crazy to hear that schools will be closed, during this time. That's a little bit crazy right there. And you got the National Guard and other individuals out there, a part of other government or communities that are going to be in different states. So, like I said, there's a lot of stuff. When people look up the eclipses and hear the information that people link or put together, there's a lot of stuff directly out there, and I'm like, this is something different. I would have never thought or sought out this information or even known about this information. And again, this is why I want to tell people before. This is why in a sense they want to get rid of TikTok. Again, there's a lot of foolishness directly on a lot of the platforms, but along with that foolishness is certain types of information. And especially if you got certain people doing, research or having to happen upon older research, they bring it to light, of this time period. And, we happen to hear about stuff that we would not have known about, otherwise. So, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Young said, damn, my mom told me that she was alive during that time. Yeah, it's like I would actually need to ask my mom about that. If my grandmother was still here, I would have sat up there and had a conversation with her about that, seeing if she remembered it. Rona said black people love for the stars is underrated. No, it's like because looking at without all of the extra stuff being attached, directly to it, it's like, yo, in a sense, being able to look at a slice of the universe is a very beautiful thing. It's like it's an endless sky, it's endless possibilities in a sense. Because it's like, your imagination can literally just be that. It could actually be your imagination. Anything that you can literally think when you look at space, more than likely it's out there, right? And that's that's a beautiful, that's a beautiful thing. Your thoughts or whatnot are not exactly hindered. Like when you're just thinking about, the planet, it's like, yeah, there's only so far that you can, in a sense, go with your imagination, before people be like, actually, this is not possible on the planet. You know, they can't really do that when it's dealing with space, because even right now, scientists are still trying to figure out certain things about space. They don't even really have a full-fledged understanding. None of these scientists have either left this planet or whatnot. And this is why I bring up the thing not too long ago, some time back, scientists were literally trying to figure out if black holes were actually real. And I'm like, I believed in black holes for like the longest time possible, because I'm like, yo, if you have something that is in a sense spinning, there has to be a center. There, like if you were to take a spoon, right? It might be a bad example, but I'm not sure. Think about like a blender, right? Take the spoon out of the equation. Think about whenever you happen to see like a blender and it's pulling in everything, it's mixing up, it causes a swirl, right? That means that there is a strong pull towards the center, right? The one main thing that we know in the universe that has, or that we're taught, that has a very great gravitational pull is a black hole. It has the strongest gravity by far of anything else that we in a sense know of at this moment in time. And scientists at a point in time of recent years were like, yeah, we don't really believe in what the other part of the scientific community. We don't think that there's really any validity or proof. But now we're at a point where scientists are like, okay, black holes exist, we believe in it in unison. They believe in it. Now the whole thing that they're trying to figure out if white holes exist, right? Because the whole main thing is like, if something has an area to go in, it has to come out somewhere. Because whenever you think about a black hole and it just eats, where is all of that information in a sense going? Right. So here comes the white hole. It's the opposite end where everything gets spewed. But it's like, where would you find one of these? What part of the universe, right, would that be located in? So like I said, that's why, in a sense, I in a sense love just looking at the sky, looking at the stars, because anything is possible. Literally, anything is possible. Timothy said they always say our laws of physics don't exist in some areas of space or planets. They don't know what that means. Yeah, because they the one thing about science is to always, wait, Timothy said, oh, they just discovered a black hole with galaxies visible inside of it from one of the other telescopes. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Let me see that. Hold on. Black hole with galaxies. And as soon as I type that in, I know what gargantua is. I know what that one is. Uh, let me see. Web astonishing discovery of huge black holes in early universe thought to be impossible. Another story, they got astronomers find the heaviest black hole pair in the universe and they've been trapped in an endless duel for 3 billion years. Yeah, like some of these I've seen before. Like one of my backgrounds on my computer is pretty much it's a black hole. And how the black hole in a sense looks, can I even show that? It looks something like that. Let me just get that picture. Like a background that I realistically, for me, because I do like, space and imagery and stuff like that. One of the main backgrounds that I would love to actually see every single day and live near is something in a sense close to this. They got technically like better looking images than this. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the specific one that I'm looking for. I think that's as close as I'm going to get unless I decide to turn on Steam to basically show what the background looks like. But like stuff is this it? I think yeah. I think this is technically it. Let me see. Let me put up the other image. Like technically a background for me that I would actually love to wake up and see would actually be like something like this. So yeah, mine. Just skip the previous image that I have up there, like this. Like I said, I've always been a person. Shout out to my uncle, but I've always been a person that's been into space and different stuff, like that. And around, I'm not too shocked if they found a black hole that had like galaxies like around it or in it or whatnot. I would not be too surprised because we're always finding brand new stuff every single day. There was not too long ago, there was a galaxy that was square shaped, and scientists thought to have anything that is not spiral for anything else to be opposite to be crazy. It's like a spiral galaxy. That's I mean not a spiral galaxy, a box type of galaxy. It's like or square. It's crazy, but they were able to find one. Right. So again, this is why I love space, because it just goes beyond the understanding of what we think is possible. It's always going beyond that thought process. The moment in time where you're like, okay, I got something figured out, 1,000 new things get thrown directly out, and then now those rules don't even apply. And I know what you're talking about too. Oh yeah, Interstellar. Thanks, Mo. Yeah, like that background, like that for me, I feel like that's dope. And like they talk about the center of the galaxy, they sit up there and tell you the reason why it's so bright is because of all of the stars that are there, and the lights that are getting absorbed, and all of the stars that are being absorbed as well in the black hole, and the energy that's in a sense energy and the radiation that's being given off by all of that stuff going down there. Like I said, for me, I just feel like that's pretty dope. And then on top of that, um the whole theory of time in a sense slowing down. So it's almost like being in a hyperbolic time chamber in a sense, or whatnot, where the time that you're in is different from the time that everybody else in a sense sees. Like that would be crazy. Like an hour on, let me just type that in. How much time passes around a black hole? Let me see. Boy, I should have put in how does time pass. They said a clock near a black hole will tick very slowly compared to one on Earth. 1 year near a black hole could mean 80 years on Earth, as you may have seen illustrated in the movie Interstellar. Woo! That is crazy. 1 year. 1 year around a black hole could be 80 years. Oh my God. Wow. That's insane. So they said, how long is a minute near a black hole? If you were to stand just outside of the event horizon of Sagittarius A and you stood there for 1 minute, 700 years would pass because time passes so much slower in the gravitational field there than it does on Earth. Some have suggested that black holes could be used for time travel. Wow. Let me see. Somebody said, is an hour in space 7 years on Earth? They said a year is the time it takes the planet to orbit the sun. A Mars year is 687 Earth days. Mercury is 88 days. I remember some of this. Saturn is 29 years. Jesus Christ. Trying to even figure out how old you would be. A year on Saturn is 20. Wait, what? Yeah, it's like when you read some of this stuff, it's like, hold on. It's like, wait a minute, because not a wheels are sitting up there spinning, and you're trying to sit up there and figure out how old you would be on, on different planets. This is, like I said, science is a wonderful thing. An hour has no orbital meaning except on Earth we divide a day into 24 hours, right? So no, it is not true that 1 hour in space is 7 years on Earth. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. Would you age slower near a black hole? Earth's gravity is so weak that the slowing of time is not noticeable, but the effects has been confirmed using sensitive instruments. For example, at sea level, you age 1/1000th of a second less every year than you would if you lived on top of Mount Everest. Near a black hole, the slowing of time is extreme. That's crazy. Like I said, it's some interesting stuff. Just saying. Very interesting. Timothy said, so that's one way to be immortal. Yeah, pretty much. If you can find your way to get near like a black hole without getting caught up and you're able to like actually escape, that's going to be very tough. Like that gravitational pull, once you get caught in like that event horizon, good luck. Good luck. But again, I'm only going by like the stuff that, that science in a sense told us. So that's the only information that we really got to go off of. So, some of the stuff that they got like Star Trek and, different stuff like that. That's all we got. That's all we got. So it'll be pretty tough. Pretty tough. Mo said existence is about gravity and time. Troy Parker said, do you remember the show Quantum Leap? Oh, yeah. That was one of my favorite shows. Why are you knocking stuff over? What are you doing? What are you doing? Get off the table. You do this every time. Anyways, that was my cap. Yeah, Quantum Leap, that was one of my favorite shows. Like a lot of like different time travel shows and whatnot. I love those shows. Like anytime they start talking, time travel, science, quantum mechanics, and that was another show I think I used to watch. I'm trying to figure out quantum mechanics. Was that on TLC? Because that was either TLC or Discovery. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff I used to watch. That was back during the time frame where you could actually learn stuff from television before a lot of this, reality TV and and different stuff like that. Let me see. Tim said, so what's frozen in time at the black hole? I am not even sure. Like I said, I would just love to sit up there and be able to adventure without any restrictions and without suffering any bad effects. Because you got certain things like quasars and things like that and rogue planets and other things giving off huge X-rays. It's crazy. Like you got things out there like magna stars. Like that shit is crazy. Like if you want to talk about something that got like a grip that's not a black hole, that would be it. And that thing is small but powerful. Like they were saying, what was it? I think if I remember correctly, a magna star could, if it was at the orbit of, did they say the moon or what it was? I forgot how they basically put it, but they said the gravitational pull of it is so strong that it would basically strip the metal off of your credit card from that distance, along with like various metals and whatnot, from the planet, like some crazy stuff. Mo said, what tier of civilization must we be in order to travel space? I forgot. I used to watch videos on this too. We are not there to like really go, interstellar. Like we're not there. We are nowhere even close. Like we're not even close to a point of even building like a Dyson sphere. And if people don't know what a Dyson sphere is, it's a large mega structure that is used to be placed around a neighboring star or the star of your local system in order to harness that star or harvest energy directly for that star in order to go to or from or for other energy needs. We're not even close to doing that, but scientists have potentially looked at a star far away from Earth, and they noticed some type of shadowing or whatnot going on for long durations, and they've theorized that it's not a planet or a larger moon, that it has to be a Dyson sphere from a larger a more advanced civilization that is harnessing the energy from that star. But like I said, a lot of technology like that would be an amazing sight to see. There's so many things I would love to be able to see, but I just know some of those things are not possible at this time. Like one of my other favorite movies is The Core. Wait, you said does spaghettification kill you? You wouldn't be able to tell that you were dead. That's the thing. You would not even be able to tell that you're gone because of how the gravity is and how it basically happens. Like it's going to be such a delayed reaction on how it happens and your perception of, because remember, you got to look at the whole thing with gravity and the perception of time. I'm not the best person to try to explain this, so you would probably have to sit up there and watch a few videos, directly on it, because people can pretty much put together some numbers and some different things and whatnot. But you wouldn't feel it. You would more than likely be gone. But from your perspective, because of how time is moving, you wouldn't realize it. It would be a long time before you actually realize like what has taken place. Like it's so delayed, it's crazy. Like I remember somebody explained it on a video on YouTube. I forgot the show that I watched, but it was a pretty nice explanation that they gave about that, along with graphs. Along with graphs. Yo, Black First, what is up? What is up? What is up? Said that will push us into another phase of existence. That would be, I mean, it will, like a lot of the technology that is in a sense hidden or has been wiped directly off of from history, knowledge wise, if they were to basically release a lot of that technology and actually allow people to be captivated by that technology, want to figure out how it basically work and how to utilize it and everything, we would be a whole different civilization. Like the whole thing of dealing, if anybody remembers, like let's say the World's Fair that they had in one of the Avengers movies, and or it might have been Iron Man. Yeah, it should have been like Iron Man. I want to say it might have been like Iron Man 3 or 2, when Iron Man was looking for a new arc reactor, and he found it by way of some of the plans that his dad had left, right? And when you look at the World's Fair and you look from the outside, because I think it was pretty much hosted by him, you saw like a giant arc reactor, right? We could literally, with the technology and stuff that they hide, or the technology that they have, we could literally have stuff like that. We could literally have like a giant ass arc reactor that would be able to power, you know, let's say like continents, states, cities. Like you would literally be able to do stuff like that. We already got tech right now where we can make clean water pretty much out of thin air. So if we literally got the tech, that there is technology out there to literally pull, energy in a sense from the atmosphere or from the air or from the surrounding, energy. Because people got to remember there's energy everywhere. Molecules move. Every molecule that you have directly in your body, every atom and everything else, everything vibrates, everything moves. So there is consistent energy always moving, even if you don't see it. Whenever the wind blows, those are molecules. That's energy, right? So you feel the wind, that's energy. Within that, looking at the molecules, the oxygen and all this other type of stuff, you'll see the vibration of those. And even within those things, they got smaller things that are vibrating as well. So it's not impossible to sit up there and have, alternate sources of energy. It's just the lack of understanding and knowledge that, one possesses in order to, obtain and capture that energy. And this is why the school system sucks. This is why the school system sucks. Because we could literally teach people, how to advance, humanity as a whole, and to propel, knowledge and everything like that. We would literally be in a whole different area. The way, like, if you think about how as humans we waste, and we have so many landfills and we pollute the waters, things will be vastly different if we had more of a scientific mindset, more of an educated mindset, because we would realize that, this waste really is not good. The things that we're doing are really not good for the planet at all. We would find alternative means. Case in point, like, one thing I thought that would have been pretty cool was mining resources from the asteroid belt. That's why I've always liked space games, because I'm like, a lot of the resources and stuff that we need, you could actually just mine that directly from, areas in the asteroid belt or from other moons around, other planets, without having to actually tear up the Earth, right? And that would allow the Earth to, preserve whatever it is that it has, such as like all of the trees that we got, and a lot of animals would, that are actually still around that can breed, would come about from extinction. The waters would get cleaner. The air quality would be way different. Like a lot of positive things could actually take place. But, we can't get that far because of greed. So, yeah, it sucks. Tim says, so I'm gonna die like that. I ran a car from Bleach. Pretty much. pretty much. Pretty much. Black said we got stuck. Yeah, that's bars. That is straight facts. East Coast Temple, what is up? I was gonna say good morning, but I think it's the afternoon. Yeah. Also, good afternoon to any and everybody that is here at this moment in time. What they just say? Kate, Princess of Wales, says she has cancer and she is undergoing chemotherapy. That's crazy. Why it just seems nobody, like, it just seems like a little bit weird. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of conspiracy out there. So you got the queen that is basically gone. You got Kate of Wales talking about she now has like cancer. I think another royal basically had cancer. I'm like, stuff is looking a little bit weird. Stuff is looking a little bit weird at this moment in time. I'm not exactly sure what is going on. Like, I even got news from Newsweek. They said a full list of, matter of fact, let me just click on that. Let me just see something. Because they're giving a full list of closures. Let me see this. So I can actually take this down. I didn't know it was actually going to, swap directly over, but it's whatever. Let me see. So what schools do we got? Hundreds of closures announced, closure during the solar eclipse or opted for e-learning days, citing student safety. Some schools still have solar eclipse activities planned despite their closures, including Hayes County, Texas. The school previously planned to be open for the event and even purchased evening viewing glass for all the students so they could safely observe the eclipse. Glass will now be sent home with students along with the fun activities and assignments for Eclipse Day. You still trying to give kids homework and you're going to send them home? Just have them in school. Like, this is so stupid. Several universities have also decided to cancel classes for that day, such as Indiana University, which has several campuses within the path of the totality. University of Texas at Austin is among the colleges canceling class because of the eclipse. Instead, the university will plan a campus-wide viewing experience during the eclipse, although it is not mandatory. The students to attend for the students to attend. Food, medicine, and gas. At least 4 states have urged residents to stock up on groceries and gas and to fill medical prescriptions in these days. Let me just pause that. In these days leading up to the eclipse, as traffic is expected to overwhelm local roads and could make accessing grocery stores or pharmacies difficult. Can't get my words right. Texas is among the states warning residents to stock up. Carey County Judge Rob Kelly issued a disaster declaration on March 4th, stating that this influx of visitors could drain our food and fuel supply and strain our city and county infrastructure to quite possibly over capacity. Kelly suggested that pet owners purchase enough supplies, including food for their pets, before the eclipse occurs. Traffic. Several state transportation departments, police departments, and other agencies and organizations have published information about what motorists can expect on the day of the solar eclipse, which could include up to 12 hours of traffic delays. The Supreme Court of New York also warned that the solar eclipse could bring excessive traffic to Rochester, potentially delaying commute to court. Quote, parties who have opted for in-person argument are strongly encouraged to arrive early to account for potential delays. Alternatively, these parties have until the close of business on Wednesday, April 3rd, to elect to argue remotely should they find it more feasible. It is imperative to emphasize that parties who are not present when their case is called will be deemed submitted in accordance with court rules. Police. Some police agencies, such as New York State Police, have been planning for the eclipse for more than 2 years. What? That don't even make sense. Why would you need to plan 2 years for an eclipse? This is so weird. You would have thought like a war or something was about to break out. Some police agencies, such as New York State Police, have been planning for the eclipse for more than 2 years. The New York State Police have published a list of warnings for people, including that cell phone service may be interrupted, giving the enormous number of visitors on that day of the eclipse. Quote, the New York State Police has developed an emergency operation plan in collaboration with other state, local, and federal law enforcement, emergency services, and transportation agencies. Further quote, the purpose of the planning process for this event is to address the potential impacts within the North County and to minimize any negative effects associated with such a large influx of visitors to the local area. Strike teams will be strategically deployed to monitor traffic and respond rapidly to any issue that may interfere with the safety flow of traffic or affect the quick clearance of any incidences. That is so weird. And then right below the story, they said solar eclipse sparks warning about cell phones. Solar eclipse sparks warnings about sudden weather changes. Solar eclipse sparks warnings about dogs. So again, I did list to you guys the eclipse of like 1811 and some months after what took place. Just saying, like I said, things every the way that I basically move with move. I was gonna say shit. Move with stuff is that everything has an effect, either seen or unseen. So some people wanted to say that, hey, just because an eclipse happened during a day, in 1811, doesn't automatically mean that it had anything to do with the earthquakes, happening at such and such a time or whatnot or whatever. Hey, like I said, energy is everywhere. Just that's the best way I consider them put out. I don't know. Timothy said humans are lazy but greedy. It would take a whole reconstruction for true advancement. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mo said, is the eclipse lasting for 8 hours? It's a rhetorical question. Teresa Gibbons, what is up? What is up? Said it just happened. Nook said, oh, what's up, Nook? What's up? What's up? What's up? Wait, what just happened? I'm a little bit confused. Wait, Teresa, what you mean? It just happened. I'm a little bit confused right there. Mo said, I'm in Texas, and they say when it happens, it will be less than 5 minutes. Yeah, that's about the time that I know. I think they said about like 4 to 5 minutes or whatnot. I'm not, like I said, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, now when you think about certain let's say like certain towns or cities that are running where the totality of the event is in a sense happening, I understand if they might have closed schools, because if you're thinking about the traffic, you'll have an influx of people deciding that, oh, I want a vacation here, so I can just so happen to be in the totality and see whatnot about the eclipse. So it'll be great to basically do that. So if you got one person doing it, you're gonna have 100. If you got 100, you got 1,000, and so on and so on and so on. So I get why they say that they do have traffic concerns, right? Because you're gonna have people that normally aren't there, and usually when you got visitors, people want to like venture around and go do stuff and see the sights and all this other type of stuff while waiting for said event to take place. So that part I can understand. I can understand that part. But you're telling me that in New York, out of everything that they could have planned for, they literally took 2 years to plan for this, but you couldn't plan for all of these immigrants to hit New York streets? Word? Like I told y'all, if the government really want to do, at the end of the day, going back to one of the first things I said, if the government really wanted to get something done, they could actually do it. The government is telling you that the eclipse is more important than anything else. We're going to spend, New York was like, yo, we're going to spend 2 years practicing and trying to get some things done so that when this eclipse happens 2 years later, we're already set and prepared. Huh? What? You would have thought we were dealing with FEMA real quick. FEMA and who the only ones that I know that'll sit up there and do something for about a good 2 to 4 years and run some test trials. they'll run some computer simulations to see what's going on. Like, what are we talking about? That is crazy. That is crazy. Teresa says, sorry, I mistyped. Oh, no problem. J Love, what is up? What is up? Said, good afternoon, fam. Peace, bruh, man. What is up? What is up? Yo, Daphne, what is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation, and a good afternoon. Daphne said, just join the chat. When will this eclipse happen? How long is it supposed to last? So the eclipse technically is supposed to be about like 4, maybe 5 minutes. And it is going to happen on the 8th of April. Let me see. Yeah. On I could probably highlight it for y'all right there. On April 8th, right? That's when pretty much the eclipse is supposed to take place, right? So if we go right back to the star chart, that I had up here. Let me go back from 1811. I gotta go up to like 2024. Can I type that in? No, I can't type it in. All right, so let's just fly to the future. Oops, went a little bit too far. All right, so we're gonna go to 2024. We're gonna go to the 8th, and then we're gonna go to April. So pretty much that is the eclipse, right? The other, because I think you can actually kind of like, and this is also what the sky is supposed to look like. Again, if anybody wants to see any of the stuff that I'm looking at here, you can go directly to the skylive.com/planetarium, and you can just so happen to type in the dates and to look, directly at the, eclipse and, different things of that nature. So, just putting that directly out there. I think I might actually have to close something real quick. Hopefully, let me see. Did it? I think it might have froze on me. That sucks. So technically, at this moment in time, my browser potentially just froze. So I'm not sure if. Okay, there we go. There we go. Not. I had to close down Chrome real quick. Guess it was using up too many resources. Tim said, well, I'm not sure if that might have like also did anything to the connection here, but so for anybody that's interested, this is live. What you're looking at. So as I'm moving the screen, you can also see that as well. You can go to, in the upper hand corner, the Sky Live, and you can just go to Planetarium, and you can type in the date of the eclipse, which is April 8th, 2024, and it will show you, what that's looking like. What is this down here? Oh, wait, is that the hour? I think it is. That's interesting. That is interesting, huh? Didn't know you could actually do that. Oh, no. It's turning the angle. Okay, I got you. The position in the sky. That is pretty interesting. So during that same time, you'll have Mercury out there, you'll have Venus, Neptune, Saturn all the way down. You'll probably see that in like the southern hemisphere, probably. But yeah, that's pretty, like I said, it's pretty interesting. What is that though? That's what I'm actually interested in. I want to know what that is. Let me see. Meteor showers. Okay, so that's the meteor shower. Okay. So we got 2 meteor showers that's happening during that. Wait, hold on. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. So that's inactive. Why is that inactive? But they got it technically mentioned. So why are they not showing the comet though? Because the Devil's Comet is supposed to show up. Is that? Let me make sure that was the name that they called it. Let me see. That's the eclipse. Yeah, the Devil's Comet. Yeah. So also during the time of the eclipse, the Devil's Comet will appear as well. So again, I want to put out this information. Let people know. Timothy said, "What happened to pets during the eclipse?" Why is my cat in the kitchen? Not sure what my cat is doing. Let me see here. I can go back to the list down here. It said warning about dogs. Let me see. Hopefully, can I mute this one? Oh, there you go. They said dog owners could witness their pets exhibit strange behavior during the solar eclipse if they are within the path of totality. On April 8th, the moon will be positioned so that the entire disk of the sun will be blocked in several United States cities, plunging millions of people into darkness during the early afternoon. The path of the totality will start in Mexico and extend across Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine before heading over to the North Atlantic. The spectacle is expected to draw crowds from around the nation as people head to these areas in the path of totality to witness the eclipse. Officials across the nation have voiced concerns about stretched public. Okay, we already went over to public safety. Roadways, getting pet food. Okay, they say in addition on stocking up on essential supplies, pet owners may see their dogs act strangely, such as exhibiting odd nighttime behaviors or acting anxious, right? Quote, the most likely response is animals starting their evening routines and showing evening behaviors. If you have a dog or a cat, they might go to bed, get quieter, or start yawning or stretching. Some dogs might even howl as the sky goes dark. Others might display signs of anxiousness, including increased panting and scratching, hiding and panicking back and forth. Dogs may act less anxious if they notice their owners are calm. Online dog magazine Dogster stated that if their human owners are acting anxious during the eclipse, dogs could mimic that behavior. They also stated that other animals also have a habit of displaying strange responses in solar eclipses. Researchers will watch animals at the Fort Worth Zoo in Texas closely during the eclipse to observe how they respond to the sudden darkness. They said that in 2017, researchers observed strange symptoms in wild animals at the zoo in South Carolina. It's weird to say that it's wild animals, even though they're in captivity, right? But they say in the South Carolina Zoo, which was in the path of totality. For example, Galapagos tortoises suddenly started breeding, while some species exhibited signs of anxiety, and others, like gibbons, elicited an unusual call. Huh. Some Texas cities are expected their population to triple because of the number of visitors. At least 4 states have urged residents to stock up on groceries and gas in the days leading up to the eclipse, as traffic is expected to overwhelm local roads, and some schools plan to close for that day. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I might actually do a few solo videos and just have that listed up there. Like I said, content I know a lot of people ain't gonna, look at, but information nonetheless. We don't even have a solar eclipse and you're already talking. Sit down. Mickey, sit down. I need you to get down. Let's get down. You do this every single time on the live stream. It's crazy. Pets. All right. What we got here? Solar eclipse sparks warning about sudden weather changes. Let's see this one real quick. Let's see what we got here. The weather could suddenly change for some areas when the solar eclipse arrives in roughly 3 weeks. On April 8th, the moon will be positioned so that the entire disk of the sun will be blocked in several United States cities, plunging millions in darkness. Path of the totality, right? Spectacle in addition. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, in addition to the plunging those areas in the path of totality in the darkness, the solar eclipse has the capacity to change the weather. T20 days until the total solar eclipse on April 8th. During a solar eclipse, we can observe changes in the weather on Earth in the eclipse's path. Temperatures can drop. I mean, of course, because giant shadow. Cloud coverage can decrease, and relative humidity can increase, and winds can decrease. And that was stated by the National Weather Service, or NWS. And then they give a diagram directly down here, basically showing you what can potentially happen or what you could expect if you are in the totality of, said event. They said temperatures drop because the sunlight is blocked. Cloud coverage decreases because of the decreased solar radiation, and dropping temperature. Relative humidity increases once the temperature gets closer to the dew point and decreases solar radiation, and convection can lead to decreased winds. Right? They said the National Weather Service Weather Predictions Center meteorologist Josh Weiss stated that the temperature could start to drop as much as 60 minutes before the totality. Right. Quote, maybe halfway through the first part of the eclipse, you will start to notice temperature drops and cloud decrease. It's not just the 3 or 4 minutes of the totality. However, once the eclipse is finished, there's a quick return to normalcy. After 5 to 15 minutes, temperature recovers very quickly. The cloud cover starts to increase as well. Excuse me. He said that the solar eclipse has attracted plenty of attention, and millions of people are planning to travel within the path of totality on April 8th. And talking about the closures and everything else. Like I said, this is all pretty interesting. This is all pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Teresa said they know something that we don't. Very possibly. Very possibly. Tim says you got to stop using Bing Silver browser. I mean, that's the one that came up because I pulled the what's the name over. Normally, which browser is this? I'm actually using Opera. That's the main what's the name I'm using at this moment in time. But the what's the name I pulled directly over from the news section. So that's why it showed up like that. They said that Costco is cracking down on freeloaders. A massive Pokemon site has been taken down. Winter storm alerts for 17 states as intense snow forecast. What? Nonprofit banned from park after hosting free picnics to feed people in need. Is that in America? That's what I would actually like to know. Let me see this. Is this? It has to be the United States. It is. So let me just go through this real quick, right? So nonprofit ban from park after hosting free picnics to feed people in need. Quote, it criminalizes the Samaritans for giving, right? So they said organizations that feed people who are homeless are being criminalized for trying to ease food insecurity. The nationwide trend reaches Tempe, Arizona, and AZ Hugs recently. The nonprofit had for 3 years hosted weekly picnics to provide meals and connect homeless people with services. Organizers, if you don't get down. Organizers, Austin Davis had received permitting warnings from the city for more than a year before applying for a special event permit in November. The city denied the request, quote, blaming the repeat violations, complaints from neighbors, and what they said was an uptick of trash and drug paraphernalia at Papago Park, the picnic's usual location. Davis told the Arizona Republic that drugs had never been a problem and that officials were eager to hide the unhoused population after raising the homeless camps. Similar situations have arisen in California, Georgia, and South Carolina. The city of Houston could not convict any of the 90 people charged with feeding homeless people without permission. Quote, let me see, messed up. Quote, it criminalizes the Samaritan for giving. Right? In the United States, food insecurity increased from 10.2% in 2021 to 12.8% in 2022, according to the Center on Budget and Police Priorities. Meaning 17 million households and 44.2 million people at some point that year could not afford enough food to eat. Families with children, as well as American Indians or Alaskan Natives, Black, Hispanic, or multiracial people, were at higher risk. This cat. amazing when pets want to sit up there and do stuff on purpose. You know, get directly on. Go downstairs. Put him downstairs. All right. They also stated the Equal Justice Initiative reported the issue was directly correlated to the end of the child tax credit, which reduced household food efficiency by 26%, and other programs born of the coronavirus pandemic. Quote, the experience of the pandemic showed us that when the government invests in meaningful support for families, we can make a positive impact on food security, even during challenging economic times. No child should go hungry in America. The report is a stark reminder of the consequences of shrinking our proven safety net. They also stated that the problem has been exacerbated by rising food prices and the climate crisis, which is displacing people, killing crops, destroying livelihoods, per the World Food Program. Globally, areas of war and violence are home to 70% of hungry people. Community refrigerators, the revival of ancestral farming practices, and technological developments such as turning bones into edible paste that can be incorporated into fish and poultry are some means to help solve the problem. So this is something that I told y'all about not too long ago, where you are criminalized and, you know, they try to potentially try to scare you or jail you for wanting to feed the needy, to feed the homeless, because the government's like, if we're not getting credit for it, if we're not doing it, trying to show that we are the heroes, we're not about to let anybody else do it. What the government is basically telling you, just with this story by itself and some of the other videos that I've showcased, is that you are not supposed to help other people. So if we got a system in place that basically tells celebrities, yo, you don't help people that are less than you don't go out here helping, quote unquote, the poor people, which is us, the everyday people, right? They don't help us. They don't really speak or do anything because they're told not to, right? So in order for them to keep getting that money and to keep being rich and to stay up top, they can't sit up there and help out ordinary people. So when it deals with ordinary people, they're not going to specifically tell you, they're going to show you. So they're going to, you know, do all of these fines. They're going to use the police to basically harass and yada, yada, yada. Let you know, like, yeah, we're especially not allowing you to sit up there and help out your fellow human beings directly out here if you see that they are in need and they got money. We got this handled. If we decide to give them some type of money, a stipend, or we want to set up a shelter, we'll sit up there and do it with the money that we get directly from you. But you are not going to be allowed to do this yourself. We're just not going to have that. So again, for anybody out there that thinks that the government actually cares about you, this story right here is basically showing you exactly what it is. That's the foolishness. Right? All that man Mo. Man, silly. Pink said, let make you say what he wants to say. He ain't saying nothing. He's not saying nothing. He's not even a year yet. He just like talking. Timothy said, you're lucky my dog jumps on me or disrespectfully cuddles and he's 100 pounds. Nah, my cat, he does that every now and again. Anytime I start doing like a live stream or recording videos, now he want to start being talkative. He want to start trying to have conversations and he want to start laying down. I'm like, any other time, if I'm playing like the game or watching a video, yeah, cool, no problem. You can come lay down or whatever. Cats don't know what the hell personal space is. Let me tell you, they just like to be right up on you, directly in your face. I'm like, really? It's hilarious. Troy Parker said your cat is in the kitchen looking for those temptation treats. I don't know what's in those temptation treats. They must have some type of cocaine, some kitty cocaine. I don't know what's going on. Because I literally did an experiment where I had the basic food that we got for him, and then I put that in half on the left side, and then I put like these brand new, I guess, like Temptations or whatever. He cleaned out that right side and clearly left the whole other part of his old food. He's like, man, I'm tired of these rocks. I like whatever's in that food right there. I need some more of that. Need some more of that. Tracy said, Shalom, what is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Timothy said, I don't know if my dog do too much. He doesn't really have a set routine like the average dog. Ah, yeah, I get that. Oh, you talking about for the solar eclipse? I got you. Mo said, as Seji, what did they do with the food when you worked at that particular grocery store? So shout out to let me just put that up there. So shout out to Whole Foods. So one of the main things that I learned while working at a grocery store is unbeknownst to a lot of consumers directly out here. And again, this was information that I was not privy to because I was not working at a grocery store during the time. What y'all need to know is anytime that let's say like this, right? They cook food. If you ever went to like a Whole Foods or a grocery store where they do like the soups and they make like the chicken and they have it out and stuff like that. Let's say if they might have just put some chicken out before closing, it was probably about like 30 minutes or whatever it is. 90+% of that, if not more of it, gets thrown out. It gets thrown out. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the trash can, like if they didn't pick up like the garbage that day because of a holiday or whatever it is, I can't tell you on how many times on busy days that I've seen stuff from the dairy section or specialty, how many bags of food that was like thrown out. Like I'm talking about stuff that was like actually cooked. I'm talking about like mashed potatoes. I'm talking about stuff like turkey, chicken, and all of these, other and it's like they have like these rules and stuff that they say that, oh yeah, legally we can't do it because stuff got to be at this certain temperature and all this. I'm like, all of this is just BS. It's just the fact that y'all don't want to sit up there and help out or feed the homeless. Like I said, I know what it is. Because one of the main things I told y'all, I think some years ago, I think Mo might have been there for that. I had a supervisor, and they were about to like throw out these bottles of water. This is the craziest thing, right? They're like usually there's a thing called shrink, right? So let's say like if maybe like something is old or whatever it is, right? You basically scan it, you throw it out, right? And I'm just looking at some of this stuff. I'm like, yo, some items we might not have had tags for. So if we didn't have like tags for those items and they never got like shelved, they could actually still be at like a decent date to actually like sell those things. We would sit up there and shrink. You would just scan it and throw it directly out. And I'm like, yo, this is a crazy waste of food. Like if you ever want to see how food gets wasted, work in a grocery store. I would love for, in the craziest part that I know what would happen is if at any point in time that they actually, if any store allowed the consumer to actually see the back, every store would literally clean up. They would make sure that beforehand, they would make sure to tell every employee to be on their P's and Q's as if corporate is coming directly through that building. So the moment in time that the consumer comes through there, everything that I'm talking about, you're not going to specifically see. They're going to have that off to the back somewhere else. And then once everything is done, then they're going to sit up there and start throwing things out the way that they normally like. It's like, yo, when I tell you the amount of food is wasteful, like I can't tell you how much bread I've seen get thrown. I'm talking about like fresh bread. Like I've eaten this bread. I'm talking about the bread is done. The bread is good. Ain't nothing wrong with the bread. It's not molded. It didn't fall on the floor. Nothing. They just have to, quote unquote, get rid of the bread because they have to get rid of the bread. And then they'll sit up there and say, like, well, sometimes we'll donate food like every now and again. What the hell you mean every now and again? You got homeless people out there right now. People that ain't sitting up there getting food. Like, look at California. Like, look at Skid Row and all these other types of places. Like, yo, you got stuff like specifically right there where people like literally need food. But they try to sit up there and make it illegal for you, for everyday people. They make it illegal for you to go out there and help out the homeless. I covered this in a video before with a Caucasian woman that was out there, and she was hosting this area for the homeless people where, they would get meals and they would get toiletries and stuff like that. And she was stating how this is the umpteenth time that the police wrote her a ticket for feeding the homeless. Like I said, this stuff is not a game. This stuff is not a game. Like I keep trying to tell people, like, yo, the government does not care about you. They got articles out here. If you really want to find out who the government is, they tell you directly to your face. But like I said, nobody reads. So going back to the joke, what I said earlier before, I was like, ha, black people reading. In general, people don't read. Because remember, that was the main stereotype that they used to always say about black people, like, oh, black people don't read and yada, yada, yada. In general, American people don't read. This is why they can literally put out articles and tell you the truth. This is why they can put out videos in the media and tell you what it is that they've been doing. Anybody seen the Nickelodeon documentary? Anybody seen any of that? Yeah, they sitting up there telling you what they've been doing. Nickelodeon is not the only place. They're just highlighting this. It's the same thing that they did with who? R. Kelly. But again, it was more than just quote unquote what people were getting mad about R. Kelly when it had to do with those situations. A lot of that had to do with money. Because all of them knew what was going on and they did not care. All of this has to do with money at the end of the day. The same thing, notice the same thing they did with Michael Jackson. What did the entertainment industry do? Oh, we're going to sit up there and tell you something about Michael Jackson and have everybody believe him, have everybody turn their backs and hate him, to sit up there and force him to, in a sense, quote unquote, go broke and have to sell everything so that we can get all of those records and all of that inventory of music back directly from his estate. They tried to do the exact same thing with Prince. So like I said before, it's like, yeah, Dan Schneider is a piece of shit for, what is transpiring and what is taking place. And a lot of people out here owe Orlando Brown an apology, because for far too long, everybody tried to call Orlando Brown crazy, but he was literally telling people what was happening in the industry. If you think that Nickelodeon is the only place that this is happening, you might want to go back and look at Disney. Think about all of those kids. If 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5 people were doing that at Nickelodeon, those were like some big wigs there. What do you think is happening at Disney? And they still ain't really telling you what's happening at Nickelodeon. They still ain't really telling you. They told you some things. They told you a little bit because they have to. That's the other thing that people don't understand. A lot of this information is getting released right now. Number one, because a lot of people are not going to pay attention to it. Number two, a lot of people do not care. Number three, they're not really telling you everything. They can tell you some things, but they're not going to tell you everything. And a lot of people, if you go by the pandemic and you go by how much money that people were able to get, everybody was fine with a little bit of something. That's what the pandemic basically showed to the whole world. That's what it showed directly to the government. As long as you give people a little bit of something, they're completely fine with everything that you're doing. So the moment in time that we got a little bit of money, the moment in time they started opening up the Coliseum, aka the movie theaters, the sports arenas, the casinos, people taking flights and people able to do, everybody was happy. Everything went back to business as usual. Case in point, let's go back and look at TikTok. What happened with TikTok, right? We had the TikTok ban. It was a whole ruckus about it online for a little bit of time. And then everybody went back to normal making their usual TikTok videos. Huh. Interesting how that works. Interesting how that works. This was supposed to be something that was like, oh, so important because it was affecting so many lives, because so many people got platforms on TikToks and they never, decided to multi-platform. And people just went back to their normalcy. So I was like, what was the use of trying to, ring the alarm on that if really nobody cares? If people aren't going to consistently keep bringing it up and talking about it in order to bring further awareness. Like I said, people got to pay attention. People just, got to pay attention to a lot of things. People got to pay attention. Timothy said, ish on a smaller scale. Look at a truck stop. They put food on rotation to the dumpster. Yep. Tim said that does explain why those YouTube vids were fake. They're not trying to get arrested. Wait, what YouTube vids? I'm a little bit confused. Because I put it to another scale. If you happen to look up some guys out here who are barbers who cut hair, they cut hair for the homeless. You've literally had the police harass those guys. They're not even feeding the homeless. They're just cutting hair. And somehow, some way, these dudes are like, yeah, we're just going to sit here. We're going to harass you. We're going to write you a ticket. We're going to try to arrest you. Like, it's crazy stuff. You're not even feeding the homeless. You're just giving people haircuts to make them look better, make them feel better, to maybe change their perspective and their outlook, and also people's point of view on them. And you want to sit up there and stop them from doing that. People, like I said, people got to wake up. People got to pay attention. People really got to wake up to the things that are transpiring, to the things that are happening. It is relatively impossible for people to keep staying so blind for so long, because I'm going to keep sitting up there saying it. It's going to affect you one way or another. It's going to sit up there and happen. So if you decide that you just want to ignore this for the longest time possible up until the last minute, don't pay attention at the last minute. Let whatever is going to sit up there and hit you, because you wanted to sit up there and stay at that place of not caring for so long. Like I say, it's going to come to a point in time where you're going to see an abundance of people trying to really bring up topics and talk about stuff at the last minute. The last minute is too late. And I keep telling people that the last minute is too late to be talking about important issues and topics and subjects. You need to be talking about this now. Don't wait up until it's 5 to midnight to sit up there and try to bring awareness or try to start talking about this and all. It's too late. Because if you cared, you would have been doing it from the very beginning, or at least during the middle. But like I said, people are going to understand and see what's going to be transpiring and taking place. And you're going to start to see a lot of people who was never talking about a lot of stuff. You're going to see them magically start talking and having opinions. They're like, man, I've been holding this in for a minute and I can't hold it in no longer. I got to sit up there and start speaking and talking about this. I'm like, no, just shut up. Don't even start talking. It's too late. It's too late. It is too late. Just save that. It is far too late. Just stay exactly where it is that you are. Like I said, it's crazy out here. It is crazy directly out here. But anyways, I've been up here yammering for quite a bit. I originally did not think that I was going to be here for this long, actually doing a live stream, but here we are, face to face, together with silver spoons. I originally didn't think I was going to, again, be doing it for this long. And I actually fused in a lot of other stories that I was not even thinking about at this moment in time. So again, much love, respect, and appreciation to everybody that is clear cut here at this moment in time. In the live stream, at least on the secondary channel, we have had about 104 people actually roll through. Hopefully, people ended up hitting that like button to get this directly into the algorithm. We've had about a good 9 concurrent viewers. So shout out to you guys. And on an average viewer duration of 12 minutes and 32 seconds. Thank you guys. Much love for that. Appreciate that. Pink said, I sent you one video on IG. Hopefully I should be able to play it without my computer freezing up again. Let me see what can I do here. Let's see what we got. Hopefully this is not loud. People on social media are blown away after seeing Putin open up an ancient box and Jesus appears to be black. I'm not too sure why people are surprised. The Vatican, this is the thing that I'm a little bit confused by. The Vatican worships a black Mary and a black Jesus. So I'm a little bit confused on how people are, in a sense, just seeing this. I'm a little bit confused. But let's see here. What do we got? Hopefully, if my PC can kind of power directly through this, that'd be great. Let me see. Again, much love, respect, and appreciation. Hopefully, everybody here is having a great day. Let me see. Can I happen to... Let me see something real quick. Where is... Oh yeah, I would actually have to fully go back then. Let me do that. Would I have to refresh? Okay. Let me... I think I gotta swap the screen on this. So I gotta get off the stars and let me see. Irvine, California. Okay, there we go. So now I can swap this directly on screen share. Right. All right, let me go back there. I'm going to have to like replay it. Wow. That's cold-blooded. All right, so he gave her a head start. He was out of there. Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. He did that though. Like I said, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like I said, and he was nice. As some people would say that he did a very gentlemanly thing, right? He gave her the head start. He let her go. Lady was like, "Yo, what you doing? How come you ain't running?" He was like, "Hold on, just let it cook for a minute," and then he was out of there. That kid was out of there. She got smoked. She got smoked. He was there. Like I felt that speed there. He was in there. The young Flash, Impulse. He was out there. But that was a very great video to Innocence in the live stream directly on. I feel like that was pretty cool. But again, hopefully you guys actually enjoyed, the live stream and some of the things we talked about, some of the information that was given, some of the articles that I went directly over, some of the videos that I also showed off. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Again, much love, respect to any and all of you guys who have donated to the platform, past, present, and future. Shout out to anybody who's donated by way of PayPal, Patreon, or Cash App as well. And, because I would not be able to do the things that I do every single day if it was not for people like you. So I will catch you guys in the next live stream, which will be live stream 82.